Yo, welcome to the New Normal Podcast. I want to tell everybody thank y'all for tuning in. If you are watching, we're going to talk about the healing journey and specifically about healing from relationships. And the reason we're talking about healing from relationship because Chris got his heart broke recently. He got his heart broke recently, so we got to talk about that. He's going to tell us why he got his heart broke. And why we got to talk about this and why it was sad and why he was crying and why I had to, console him late night, 2 o'clock in the morning. And no funny shit. It was just, he called me. He's like, bro, she did it again. I said, again?
What again?
This the 45th time.
Why y'all ain't call me on three-way?
So, yes.
Why you ain't go live getting at your phone?
Better start calling y'all back at night.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
What?
Don't believe shit he just said. But yes, this is a topic that we chose to go with because I was, doing my rounds and I'm saying, okay, I need to heal. And, social media has a lot of rabbit holes that you can go down, and if you go down and you start to see a bunch of different layers that you may have not been privy to. So I was coming across Summer Walker's content and I saw she had a whole EP that was, I think, called Soft Life, but it was the theme around it was like healing. And you see some of her interviews, some of her takes where I think she may have said, this the first year that I ain't been pregnant and I'm kind of sad. It was something to that effect. So we want to unravel the layers of what healing entails, who needs it, who went through it, do you need to go through it, and, what's the steps to take to get through it. So we're going to let the ladies and our special guests introduce themselves, and we're going to get into this topic.
All right. Destiny, you go first.
Okay, I'm Destiny. Am I supposed to tell
if for your social medias or handles or
okay, yeah, my Instagram is Lil Des, and I don't really give out my Twitter because of my job. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. I haven't been here in a while.
Welcome back. Destiny is one of our regulars at first, and then we ain't gonna get into that, but yeah, welcome back, Destiny.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Ashanti. Of course, Ashanti After 9. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Ashanti Jordan or Ashanti After 9.
Hey.
I'm back. Hey y'all, it's your girl Kira. You can find me at Just Call Me Coach on all handles: TikTok, Threads, X, formerly known as Twitter, Snapchat.
My name is Ashley, first time here. The only place you can follow me is on Facebook, Ashley Hartman.
Welcome.
So we're about to kick it off. We're going to watch this video right here, and I want to get y'all thoughts on this video after we watch it. Let's see, where is it?
What have you been surviving in love lately?
I've been celibate for 5 years.
How?
I was married early.
Let's talk about that. Where'd you meet your husband?
My ex-husband, I met him at Dollar Tree. He was working as a stalker.
Oh.
Be nice. I'm finding it.
I'm not trying to judge you.
I was 16.
Okay.
He was a man.
What? How old?
23.
You're a victim.
Yeah,
So how soon did things progress after that?
pretty instantly.
This is a sick Negro.
I think we were off and on for a few years, and then he moved in with me at 19.
Wait. He didn't have no job?
He was fresh out of prison.
Wait, what did you do?
He was a criminal.
Well, what kind of criminal?
Hustler, scammer.
Okay. Damn, this is crazy.
R.I.P. to him. R.I.P.
He died?
A year after we divorced.
How?
He was murdered.
You handled that well?
I did not at the time, but
How are you close to this family?
no, not as much. My stepchildren, I had lots of stepchildren from that marriage. I still keep in touch with them.
I feel like I wish I would have broke that up because I don't want to talk bad about a dead man.
He had 8 children.
Oh my God. All 8 children was coming to your house?
4 to 5.
Oh, he didn't claim the other ones.
See, one lived out of state.
Okay.
One was from a woman that he had one by. She has number 6. And then he cheated on me before we got married and gave her number 8.
This is a sick Negro.
The hopeless
Man, that story kept getting
wild.
worse and worse and worse. And you know what's crazy? You would think this is just a one-off story.
You got a lot of legs.
It's a lot. It's so many people with stories, and they be telling you their life story. You're like, how are you okay with this person being this type of person to you? Now, I got to really ask, what kind of self-esteem do you have about yourself?
Let's kick it to Ashley is the healing guru for tonight, right?
Girl.
Would we say you the healing guru for tonight show?
Being a healer, I would say so.
Put your mic a little close.
With what we just watched, she gave a lot of legs, and it seems like it's a lot of years invested with all of this baggage and trauma. How would you say she even ended up in that place from the jump?
For one, the first thing that stuck out is she's not healing from a relationship. Girlfriend got healing she need to do from obviously some childhood stuff. To be 16 and be in a relationship with a 23-year-old who ends up like being in prison, getting at 16, what's going on in your life where you in a relationship with a 23-year-old? Let's start there.
So where he got to stay with you too.
Yeah.
Let's not even unpack that. 16, I don't know what y'all was doing at 16 or what we should have been doing. But at 16, that's an indication that there's some stuff going on just in the house itself that girlfriend got to heal from, just basic stuff. Because why at 16 are you even allowed or able or in the position to be in a relationship with a 23-year-old? Can we start there?
I agree.
Okay. Flip it real quick. What is going on in the 23-year-old's life where he is in a relationship with a 16-year-old? So already from jump, we got two humans who have obviously had some traumatic and real deep mental stuff going on before they even met each other that they already don't have healing from. That's where we gonna start.
Okay. We'll do a round table set, and then we'll come back and get some. What you think, Yakira?
I want to know what her parents is, because clearly that might be a problem where she might have mommy or daddy issues. Well, it sounds like daddy issues with that big age gap at such a young age.
Daddy issues.
Because most of the time when you see women that are mostly attracted to older men like that at a young age, they got daddy issues.
7 years is a lot.
At 16, yes.
Yeah, that's a lot, Sid.
At 16.
At 16.
Grown 7 years.
23 and 16.
Grown 7 years. 23.
Shit.
Because 40 and 47 ain't that bad, but 16
I'm gonna
and
keep my thoughts. We're gonna go
crazy.
round table. Go ahead.
I'm gonna get mine last.
That's a lot.
You done? Okay.
All right, y'all. First of all, I just want to start off saying it's some stuff you couldn't beat out of me. Like, you couldn't beat that information out of me. And while I do agree with some of you guys with the things that you said, I do feel like sometimes we have to take accountability that sometimes the situation not that deep. It ain't a whole lot of trauma that happened in the back end that's caused these bad decisions. At 16 years old, you are well aware that you ain't supposed to be doing this.
I can agree.
You are well aware. You are not 14, 12, and still naive. You know you ain't supposed to be dating nobody out of high school. Definitely 23 years old. Got a job. You talking about your 9 weeks test, and he talking about getting paid in 2 weeks. That's insane to me. Right? That's crazy. So we got to take accountability. As I know she is a child, but she made bad choices. And it was supported by her parents probably not being there, but it initiated with her because she knew she ain't had no business doing it.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna let this go, then I'll get my thoughts. Go ahead.
I agree with everybody, but I do feel like it had to be something going on because not only did you talk to this 23-year-old, you stayed with him through prison and 8 kids. So I feel like it had to be something else. Maybe if he was just 23, maybe when she first saw him, he didn't look as old as he was or something. I don't know. But all the other stuff that came after, it got to be some self-esteem issues.
Okay. Chris, what you got to say?
I would say, because like I said, it's a lot of time. She said stepkids, he cheated. I would ask, what is the thing? Because he doesn't give the provider vibe because he in prison, working Dollar Tree, warehouse, or whatever. What is it making her stay? I don't think self-esteem makes a person just stay in dire straits for
People
this.
will die for attention.
You think he was giving her attention in exchange for her loyalty for
Maybe
such
some
a
attention that she wanted.
Sexual?
Now, seeking from
Mhm.
somewhere else, she was getting from him.
No, I think it definitely was sexual. I'm gonna tell you why. When I was in high school, I had a friend that was 16 dating a guy like that age, right?
Yeah.
And it was the sexual attention, right? You're telling me, like in her mind, she was like, "Oh, I'm 16 and he can be dating these other girls, but I'm so tough at my age that he can't. He don't even want to fool with them. He worried about me. He picking me up from school. He doing that.
So she got the ego boost. From
Yes,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
definitely is
Okay.
that. I mean, he definitely preyed on her as well. It is a double-sided thing. He's a predator. But it definitely is those things. Like the girl that I was in high school with, she was dating a man who lived with his baby mom. And he was telling her, you know, we not together. We just live together for the baby. She got her own room. I got my own room. And the girl thought it was true.
But I got a question
So
though.
she was 16.
Was that
She
girl
young.
sheltered at all?
Who,
My-
the one we talk to
The
my
one
friend?
she's talking about.
No, I mean, I don't want to get too much.
So her parents let her like do what she wanted to do. Because in most cases, like
I don't feel like her parents let her do what she wanted to do, but it was no consequence, right? So she was gonna get that pushback. You can't be like, "Oh, mom, I'm getting ready to go to such and such house," and the mom was like, "Okay, cool." She snuck from school. You know what I mean? And then
So
got
she was
the
sheltered.
consequences on the back end.
she was sheltered then.
No,
No, it's like
Because,
you gotta give off two
because
personas.
anytime you have to sneak, that's you being sheltered.
if you sneaking and you know the consequences, and you like, all right, that's straight. That's not sheltered to me. I grew up sheltered, and that shelter kept me from doing certain things because I don't want to face that. If I'm like, okay, I know my mama just gonna cuss me out or whatever, but I'm still finna go do what I gotta do. I don't consider that to be a shelter.
I think
Uh-huh.
shelter is a protective layer. You can't sneak if you sheltered.
Yeah.
Sheltered.
You can't
put
sneak
up.
You can't sneak
Nah,
if you sheltered because
'cause-
you talking to somebody that was sheltered and was sneaking.
But most of the time, you get people who are sheltered when they go off to college. Then
Mhm.
those boundaries are off,
Mhm.
are not present anymore because the parents are not 400 miles away where you going to school at. So you would see her act out as a form of or as a result of being sheltered. Now she getting her rocks off. But if
Yeah.
you shelter
No,
protected
see.
and got that crazy daddy that's gonna pull up with that 4-5, you ain't finna be sneaking out doing that with this
Even-
and risk this little
actually
boy
the
getting his
ones
head
that
blown
sneak
off.
the
Those
You ain't
are
sneaking.
the ones. I'm
The
telling
shelter
you.
one sneak
You
the
looking
most.
at
After the
somebody
fact,
that
though.
was
not during. I'm
After.
telling you, I'm a shelter, right? This girl mom was tracking the miles on the car. You got to go to work. It say that your job is 7 miles from here.
But you just said she had no
when you came,
consequences, so that would make
but
it
when you
easy.
came back, 25 miles off the car. So I'm gonna cuss you out. Probably take the car for a couple days. Then you gonna get the car back and you gonna do the same thing. It's a cycle. So no, she was not
What I'm
sheltered.
saying is, I was
What's-
sheltered.
I
and
was gonna
I
say-
used to
Hold on,
sneak,
One mic,
and
one
my
mic.
mama didn't play. Like
What's
my
the-
mama
what are you
didn't play
guys
that.
calling sheltered?
Let's get a sheltered person, meaning you're protected. It'll be like a person in prison. He's sheltered. They can't go out and go to motherfucking club on Friday night. You got wardens. You got all this. When they get free, now that you're gonna see the behavior, which is indicative of being locked up.
So let
So,
me ask you:
yeah.
in prison, he's sheltered. He can't go to the club.
Yeah, shelter would be
But
you.
does he have access to know and find out and see exactly what their life is about?
You got access to the information, but not the experience.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, right? I grew up very sheltered. I didn't watch BET or anything until I was almost in high school. My parents was strict on that. I still knew what was going on, some songs, but I didn't have anything in my life that supported me learning and grasping it until I had full visibility of what it was.
So you ain't sneak. You just waited.
I
till
couldn't.
you
I grew
got
up with a
out.
stay-at-home mom, right?
Okay.
So when I say shelter, I mean it was provision before my thoughts, during my thoughts, and after my thoughts. Wake up in the morning, my mom taking me to the bus stop. She finna sit up there and wait for me to get on the bus.
And what was your sheltered experience?
My shelter was my mama was the same way. She would stay at home. She tried, but baby, I was sneaking.
See, that's what I'm saying. I
was
went out,
sneaking.
when you go out, I went off to school to college. We seen girls, and we got the backstory. Like, oh, she was sheltered. Now she wilding because the parents and those parameters are not there anymore. Now she can wild out because she was sheltered. If you sheltered, you ain't really being able to do
So
that.
your parameters were tight, and then they got loose for a period of time where you was able to go and do what you wanted to do.
No, I was sneaking. When I say I was sneaking, I mean I was.
So
sneaking.
tell us this story about your sneaking. We need to hear it because we
No,
we
'cause
kind
my mom might be watching.
you grown now.
Look, I never tell on myself.
That's a whole nother conversation. But what I'm saying is that you have people who are protected and let's say quote unquote sheltered. You're not going to see the results of that until they get freedom. You can't simultaneously be
That's
free
not
and
true.
sneaking and sheltered.
So
That's not true.
and I was gonna.
Okay.
I listened to everybody. She was sheltered to the point where she didn't sneak and do nothing until she was able to be.
I ain't
free
never
and do-
sneak.
She ain't sneak.
I ain't have to sneak.
She was sheltered and she was sneaking. I grew up in a single parent household. My mom was very strict as far as we didn't spend the night with people because she was molested. So she's one of them parents. We ain't spending the night nowhere. And she was strict on us. Couldn't have a boyfriend to a certain age. Couldn't talk on the phone to boys to a certain age. My sister got pregnant at 15. So we can say, oh, at 15, it ain't too deep for you to be having to heal from this and this. You making bad decisions because you just making bad decisions. And on the surface level, that's what that looks like. Nobody knew or knows in this strict household where my mom was on her stuff. She knew where we was. She knew who was keeping us. You supposed to be here. You supposed to be there. My sister got pregnant at 14. Had a baby at 15. We can say, yeah, she was just being fast. She made a decision to go and, have sex. She just made that decision, but that ain't got nothing to do with healing from the relationship that she got in at 15. The underlying level of her healing had nothing to do with a relationship, but it had everything to do with her being molested at the age of 7. So yeah, a 15, 16-year-old know exactly what they doing. We know we ain't supposed to be having sex. We know to a certain degree this is wrong, but why will we still do it? That's the kind of healing that most people never tap into. So you start thinking, I need to heal from this relationship I was in. When in actuality, you need to heal from that sexual abuse when you was 7 that nobody even knows about. That's why at 14, you felt okay with being promiscuous. You felt okay with sneaking or doing whatever. Most of the things that we think we need to heal from are just something that has an underlying behavior or issue that has never been tapped into. That 16-year-old girl up there who's thinking she healing from that horrible relationship, there's something that happened well before she got to the 16-year-old age to get into that relationship.
I'm gonna say that could be potentially true. But when we talking about ages like 16, we got this thing called peer pressure. And when we talking about sheltered, I do think sheltered is a thing. But if it gets to the point where you have to sneak and do anything you are cognitively doing and going against your parental figure in your life telling you not to do something. So that's a conscious decision to do wrong, basically.
Conscious decision to do wrong with a brain that is not even fully developed.
Okay, correct. I agree. So when we
hold on, pause. Because the point that's being made is at 16, we are fully equipped to know right from wrong.
No. I'm not saying that.
Okay, let's pause.
Hold on. So that's why I stated earlier before you went there about the brain not being fully developed. When you do something wrong, you're old enough to know wrong from right. At 16, nobody's disagreeing wrong from right. Just wrong from right. Especially if you go against parental advice, your parental figure, and if you have to sneak, that means you are cognitively doing something to cover your tracks, right? We all agree. Yeah. Okay. So that's why I said what I said. Like 16, you are cognitively going against your parental figure in your life to do something wrong. I believe in peer pressure, but I also remember in middle school, not even high school, not 16. I still remember in middle school when people started watching BET Uncut and they was talking about what's going on in Cut. And I seen a lot of those kids mimicking and doing those things where I'm like, how y'all able to stay up to 2:00 in the morning and watch Uncut? But y'all got parents, both y'all mom and dad at home, and y'all able to go and do this. I also remember girls running under the bleachers, getting trains ran on them in middle school, and knowing their parents, and thinking, hey, this is the cool thing to do. Not necessarily I was molested, not necessarily none of this. Just this is what I want to do because this is cool. I'm getting attention. And I think a lot of it, when we have these conversations, attention weigh a lot in these situations because I've seen it. We see on social media all the time what grown adults would do for attention. We see people on here exploring their kids on here having challenges, letting their kids cuss, and you can sit in the mirror and say whatever cuss words you want to say, and thinking that's cute and posting it on social media and thinking they finna get a lot of likes and shares because they like attention. I think if we talking about like And I think that's the issue, the attention whores that we have. Now, do a lot of people have to heal from sexual trauma? Yes, because if we talk about what it is, they say like six out of 10 girls are molested. 5 out of 10.
I think it's underreported too. A lot of women go through sexual assault.
And not just women.
I'm finna get there. And they say 5 out of 10 boys are molested. And then we talk about just think about all your famous people that came out and said men.
Yeah.
Kevin Gates, Sean T, it's a bunch of men that have came out. Hey, I was molested.
Mike Tyson said it.
Mike Tyson. Like, it's so crazy that we have so many of these people that get in these situations that been molested, that's been touched. And sometimes, to me, the way I was raised, it baffles me to have kids that people are just out here doing that. Even dating. Like, I think dating opened my eyes because my father was like, I don't even want y'all to really date till y'all 21. My dad was like, because I done seen some stuff and been through some stuff that, what's the point of you dating? Like, what's the real point? What's the point of you having sex? Like, what's the real point? And the older that I got, I'm like, yeah, really ain't no point of having sex. Because most of my sexual experiences been bullshit, to be honest. It was just being 100, you know? And so, like I said, a lot of people just do stuff because this is what we think we're supposed to do in this relationship. It ain't fruitful. It ain't gonna go nowhere. We just right here having sex and then, I'm pregnant.
Recreation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, even when I'm thinking about like my father telling me, hey, I don't want you to date at 21. I'm like, what? Everybody else on the phone talking to girls and stuff like that. But I'm starting to understand, hey, that's a lot of these little girls messed up.
And but Wade said, though.
What?
I don't think nobody peer pressured this girl to take in no 23-year-old man into her house.
No, peer pressure is things that most of your peers are doing. Most of her peers was not messing with 23-year-old.
Hold on, I was laying a whole groundwork.
Okay.
So I'm just talking about peer pressure is one, and attention. What you said was another thing. Okay. So we got peer pressure and we have attention. Just like you said, she could have wanted it for the attention. You got a girl that said, "Hey, this nigga want me because I'm better than the girls his age." So now she thinking she the big
right
dog.
There with the attention thing.
Influence.
A 16-year-old girl, who is she doing? In this specific example, she's messing with a 23-year-old man, right? She wants attention from the 23-year-old man, not none of the boys in school. Mm-hmm. Not. Do you think she just develops the craving for attention from a grown man in that manner just because she want that attention? You really don't think that the attention she's seeking has something to do with a completely unrelated issue?
I want to touch on it because listen to the in-depth experience that she had with this guy. I would be hard pressed to believe this is her first go run at the mill. I walk out my house, I ain't been touched, I ain't had no interaction with no boys on any level. My first reaction or interaction is with a 23-year-old male. I would highly doubt that. But I think it's influence because, again, I would see, you talking to a 19-year-old? I'm talking to a 20-year-old. Kids, adolescents, and teenagers are very competitive. Oh, I got the new J's. Well, I got the new ones that came out last week. It's a competition thing in a certain degree. So this wouldn't be her first run in the mill to get so in depth to where you dealing with cheating. You get married, he go to jail. This ain't your first time, Jack. You ain't jumping off the top rope on your first go. You working your way up.
So, and this is why this is a little different because at 17, I was sexually involved with a 26-year-old. Not my first sexual experience.
Yeah.
I hadn't had the attention from boys my age. I hadn't already had my first little boyfriend. Was dealing with people my age.
You graduated up.
I'm just saying. Yeah. This was attention, not that I was seeking like, I just want some attention from somebody. Because I was used to attention. I wasn't no ugly girl. I was popular. I had been on dates and had then lost my virginity at 17.
To the older guy?
No. Okay. Lost my virginity to a peer.
Okay. Somebody in your age group.
Somebody in my age group.
Okay.
The 27-year-old. Somebody who a predator around because of family members. This wasn't I just want some attention because I was getting attention. This had a lot, and this wasn't nothing that I discovered in the moment, because in the moment it was just, I'm just messing with somebody. It's just he tried me, he coming correct, he gave me money, he pursuing me like what anybody my age would be pursuing me, taking me on dates, giving me gifts, being nice to me, not doing anything different than what my peers were doing. I'm top 10, smart girl, knew not to get knocked up, absent father. So when we start thinking in terms of, well, what made her mess with the grown man?
Yeah. So I think growing up sheltered, right? My parents worked on critical thinking skills, which is why I didn't sneak out, right? Because I could think the forethought of me doing this and the consequence, right? And so when people don't have critical thinking skills, they act on impulse.
So pause.
Speaking of,
This is two completely different upbringings.
yeah.
Well, we don't know hers.
No, I'm saying this. We talk about me and your upbringing specifically. We know our upbringing. Your critical thinking skills were not just you was born. You at your age, you just came and had those.
Right.
You were given those critical thinking skills because you had parents who instilled that in you, who brought you up in that way. Me, on the other hand, I just grew up in a house with a mom who was doing the best she could just to provide, because there was no 2-parent household. I didn't get those critical skills instilled, and my raising was off of learning the hard knock way.
Right.
The critical thinking skills that I eventually developed came from trial and error. You did it, you you figured it out. So to say that at my age, I should have just had those critical thinking skills and I should have just been, right from wrong, that's my healing journey. I had to heal from, I grew up without a lot of the stuff that is supposed to be given to you. Now, we come up in a time where it's more common for little girls like me to grow up in a single parent household. Mama doing the best she can. She's struggling from her childhood stuff. I'm not giving my kids those critical thinking skills, but she grew up in that household with them. So we're going to say she was just naturally smart enough to critically think and think about the outcome, think about the consequences, the reaction. I just should have known. No, I needed that same development. I needed those same seeds planted into me. And since it didn't happen for me that way, she starts life in a different space than me. She starts life with the ability to critically think, I'm only 17. There's no way this almost 30-year-old man should be attracted to me but she's been taught that.
We're gonna get into that, and we want to keep on a little more concise. So I picked up what you're putting down. Disney and Ashanti, when y'all look at what we just watched and just hearing these stories when it come to women going through these situations, and usually it's the same dynamic. Like you just gave an example. You were 17, he was 27. She's 16, he's 23.
I have a testimony too.
Okay, let's hear
yours. When I was
yours.
19, I talked to a 26-year-old.
I mean, that's legal though.
It's legal, but it's not. I'm not legal. I'm saying it's not common.
Y'all were having age gap.
Okay, yeah.
So are you saying most women in that age bracket are just naturally attracted to an older guy in that bracket, or is it just by the circumstance?
Well, the thing I brought up earlier about her not knowing, like I met the guy at a place where I worked, so we both worked there. So I was just talking to him. His age just didn't come up until we were already talking. And when I found out, I was like, oh well, we're already talking now.
Okay. Have you ever had an age gap early?
Not that early, no.
What's your biggest age gap and when did it occur? Yeah, you don't have to give an exact, but you can give an approximate.
Maybe a little less than 15 years.
But when did you experience a true age gap dating
was
experience?
Like late 20s.
Okay, late 20s. So 19, 17, 16, late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now was this like a natural attraction, or did he do something? Because I would think a man, if I go at a 19, I'm already see. I know what she gonna like. I didn't scope the scene. I didn't peep every play. I know how to get in the. You said what?
I was definitely chased.
You were chased. Okay, so did he do something outside of your peer group?
Well, so we worked at the same place, but he worked at a different location than me. So I guess he saw me one day and he just started coming by more often.
Okay.
And just, going out the way, bring me stuff, want to take me to lunch. And it just went from there.
So dudes in your age group, let's say 18 to 21, they weren't doing that.
No, exactly. And that's what I was going to get to. Like, that's what the appeal comes from an older guy. Like people your age, they might not have their own car yet, and they might not have a job making this amount of money. So you dating an older dude, he got a nice car at that, not just a car. He got a nice car, a job, and whatever you want, he getting it for you.
Okay, can I say something real quick? I agree with Desi on that. And the reason I still remember being in 9th grade, trying to holler at another 9th grader, and she telling me, I'm not going to talk to you because this nigga over here got a car. This nigga come pick me up. Hey, if I sneak out the house, he gonna pull up. Hey, when the new J's drop, he at least got a job. And this is a 19 talking to somebody that's in school. So she's talking to a senior in school. Now, and thing about it is, and my mom had to tell me this was a big thing at Irwin. A lot of the 18-year-old boys is getting in trouble for messing with the 14-year-old girls because now you're illegal. They not legal. And so a lot of the guys didn't comprehend it, but they think, hey, we in school together. I can go and smash you, but you can't because he 18, she 14 or 15. So you can't do that. But then I still remember being in 11th grade, seeing a girl talking to a nigga that's 25, pulling up outside of school, calling on the foes, being down the block, he making attention. Yeah. So all the other little girls see what's going on so he can get the other little girls. So another thing, that's why I said when we had this conversation, it got to be said. A lot of women give off, hey, I'm for the highest bidder at a young age, because a lot of people, and we got to talk about it, a lot of women have been grown up. Hey, we see it on Facebook all day long. If your purse dry, if he ain't got no money to put in your purse, he should be putting that in your pussy.
Yeah,
little stuff like that. Like a lot of women are raised like this. So when we had these conversations, this is from granny. Like I said, Sukiyana talk about, my great grandma was a hoe. My grandma was a hoe. My mom was a hoe, and I'm gonna be a hoe too. They like a lot of people come from a long line of whores, and this is not nothing that just come that we talking about like they was hurt. This is just what they is. This is what they do. This some people are just parted to be bad people, or some people are imparted spiritually to be on this side of the aisle. That's why I don't judge people, because I feel like, hey, that's y'all generation, that's what's in y'all family, that's what's in y'all DNA, because DNA play a lot of part. Who you come from a whore, you're probably gonna be a whore. You come from a dummy, because they say 80% of your intelligence is genetic. You come from a dummy, probably gonna be a dummy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when we have these conversations, it got to be a real conversation. A lot of these girls, they go to the highest bidder. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine the highest bidder being Dollar General. Like
exactly.
Right.
It wasn't even Dollar General. It was Dollar Tree.
Oh, she said Dollar Tree.
It was Dollar Tree.
But think about this too. We had this conversation as well. A lot of women give off, I have no parental guidance at home either. Some women walk around. Think about this as a man, Chris, and I'm gonna ask y'all this as women. As a man, your daddy gonna say, walk with your head up. When you shake a man's hand, you shake his hand standing up. When you give a man a handshake, you give him a firm handshake. Yeah. Like, we have etiquette on how to address man, because I know if you approach me or do certain things towards me, I know you got a father at home, right? So if I see a woman move in a certain way where she doesn't have a woman imparting something in her life, you giving off, hey, I can easily get you because you bending over to pick this pencil up and you don't carry your ass in there. Now, y'all might say, oh, this old school, but they got etiquette class where you drop a pencil on the ground, you squat down, and you pick the pencil up all nice and cute. You know what I'm saying? So those are little things, like what fork to use, for what salad.
How you sitting in a dress or a skirt.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, those things that people give off. So a lot of times when we come talking about the healing, a lot of people don't have parents to fend off from the predators.
I want to play that video, because this is going to get into the next layer. Like we said, we're just laying the groundwork for this whole healing.
And that is something to heal from, though.
Yeah.
Not having that.
Oh yeah, I agree.
That guidance that you, whether it's from a mama or a dad.
It's a void that needs to be filled.
Yeah.
Now the question is, before we get to the next video, which I think that's the guy sent with the heartbreak, do y'all have everybody experienced a heartbreak in this room? Yes. I would say yes.
I have, yeah.
Has the heartbreak come from a guy in your peer group, let's say your age bracket, or someone older or younger?
My heartbreak was same age.
Same age. Okay.
Or like age group, yeah.
So we seeing something now as far as what a heartbreak comes from. It don't come from you would think it would come from the predator, right? Mm-hmm. But you would think, because he know what he doing.
You know how to play it.
You see what I'm saying?
So let me ask this question then.
You know how to play it.
When y'all first, so you said y'all okay, so y'all first real like relationship, even the puppy love one, it's gonna be with somebody y'all age, right?
Right.
Okay, so I think that's when you had that puppy love. Is y'all referring to y'all first heartbreak, the puppy love stage?
I think mature.
I'm thinking like adult.
Post high school.
That's what you say. Your heartbreak, was it puppy love or was it mature?
And let's say post high school.
It was kind of both. Like I knew him in high school, and
But it transferred after. Okay, that account. You say that's when it happened. What'd you say, Sense?
I was probably like 26, 25.
Okay, that's mature. Okay.
Mine was both.
High school.
High school and it went on.
It transferred after high school.
The same dude.
Okay, so that's okay.
We were engaged.
I was 29, my first real.
Okay, so this late.
Wow.
Okay, this a little later. Okay, that makes sense.
But technically, y'all talking about relationship heartbreak or just heartbreak?
Just heartbreak.
My first heartbreak was my daddy, well before that age. The first man to break my heart where I feel physical pain in my chest, like I'm sad about this, came from my dad.
I can see that being
about 9 years old, and it was real heartbreak. I ain't talking about no that wasn't puppy love, because this was the first time, and you know what heartbreak is, where your chest feel heavy. You stick to your 9 years old from my dad. So I was just wondering if y'all was talking about heartbreak, like relationship heartbreak, or just heartbreak.
To the point where you can understand your emotions. Now, you may have had the heartbreak at 9, but to fully understand
9 years old, I'm not regular. I have had emotional intelligence since I was about 7, because I had a very early awakening consciously. My first real, I understand this emotion. This is heartbreak from, I knew what abandonment was. 9 years old, I had full capability of understanding what I was feeling.
Now, I'm gonna say this real quick. When she said that, they always said the mental capacity for children taking on those type of emotional hurts, the mind is not even prepared to even take that on. Like, even when we talk about sex, like they say the brain is still developing at 26. They say it's supposed to be, but every time I look at reports, they keep pushing it back and pushing it back. But you got to think about, like, there's plenty of studies that show having sex too early ruins people. Like, when you talk about, like, and we're gonna just talk about and we just go sick, but anything. When you talk about people that's alcoholics, getting alcohol too early, fuck your brain up.
Yep.
Having sex too early, drugs. If you do something too early, you're mentally and physically not capable of handling a lot of this stuff. So a lot of times when you do it, like if you think about, like, my granddad was alcoholic. He started drinking at 13. You know, so when we have these conversations, a lot of people, when we have do these stuff and be addicted to stuff, they be young in age. And that's the scary part. And that's why, as a parent, it's best to try to hedge your child the further and further, the older it is, because now heartbreak, they can handle the heartbreak better. You don't want to get your heart broke at 14. Usyk said, hey, I got my heart broke at 14. So everybody after that. And so now we see how he be acting. So that's what it is.
So we're gonna get into a male perspective of, I guess he's gonna break down healing, and I guess he's gonna give some insight on how a man should go through life or get through some of these rough patches.
Listen, niggas just can't forget like women. You know what I'm saying? Woman, they don't really give a fuck. They could be in love 80 years, nigga. As soon as they get something else, they out and about and don't give a fuck what helped them with life. Ain't do shit. Now, men, I don't know what it is about men, but shit, when we done worked all hard on some shit that we know ain't work, boy, that shit eat at us for the rest of our motherfucking life. Bitches gonna get over shit quick for the rest of their life. Men gotta sit, man up, and eat that shit up, nigga, till we die off. Straight the fuck up. So if you a man, I just want you to understand and get ready to accept a lot of shit that you ain't gonna be able to control, nigga. Don't crash out about it, nigga. Move on, keep it going, and keep your shit tucked, my nigga. Don't ever get married, or you gonna be going through a whole lot of shit in the future, and you ain't gonna have shit. But other than that, I'm just letting y'all know, man. Y'all women check on y'all men check on y'all ladies, because y'all ain't gonna have them forever. Just understand that, man. Men, we can't even grieve, nigga. Heal.
He needs to heal.
He definitely
Now it's a reason why I picked this video. I want to ask before we get into this: how many men have y'all dealt with that came to you with unhealed trauma and they vocalized it, or were comfortable enough to vocalize that, hey, I'm fucked up. This chick did me bad in the last situation, and they confided in you to get some, I guess, healing to a degree.
I have personally
I
not
haven't.
experienced.
You never had a man
I've
come to
seen
you?
it on Facebook, but no, I have personally not had a man
Okay.
come to me.
You had a
I
man
have.
come to you? What was
I
that
have.
like?
And what was he healing from?
He was healing from a lot of like mama issues, but he vocalized it to me, so I appreciated it. But it made me feel as though like, okay, so you trust me enough to vent this to me, because most time when people vent, their thing in the back of their mind is, oh, you gonna throw this up later. So that's why a lot of men don't vent, because they feel like we as women gonna use it against them later.
Y'all do though. Now I don't, but most do.
I said I ain't in that category.
So you ain't throw it back up on? Okay.
We still cool to this day. Shout out to him.
You had a dude come to you weak, not weak, but like this? Two dudes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One of them, which was the person I had heartbreak with, his previous partner had passed away in a car accident, right? So he was really trying to get his emotions together. It had been some years since we dated, but it still was something because he was interested in marriage with that person. So, that was one thing. And then the other one, we could see publicly, mama issues. You could Google it, but yeah, issues with his mother.
Okay. You say you had a guy come to you?
I feel like every single person that I date, I don't know, just people in general feel comfortable telling me their business. Like at work, guys, people I meet at the bar, like it just happens all the time.
So what about your dude? Like
from an intimate perspective?
Well, I'm saying they do. Like every guy I date, they open up to me about shit.
So you saying every guy you date, you say come with some form of trauma to a degree? Okay.
What's the worst thing you think you had to overcome? Just as far as that hurt.
Well, one guy is just like, he did tell me about the trauma, but it's like, it seems like in the relationship we were just beating the same dead horse. Like he would never heal from it, and it was kind of holding our relationship back from progressing.
What was it?
He had dad issues. Dad wasn't in his life. His mom was a single mother, and she had them kind of young. So I feel like he had to take on a lot of responsibility early on in life, and he sacrificed a lot of things so that his younger siblings would be able to like do more stuff.
So he was the oldest.
He was the dad.
He was the oldest boy.
Oh, okay.
He was the son, dad, or husband.
Mm-hmm. I have had men not believe I was who I was because of who they mamas was. When a man views women based on what he views his mom as,
I get what you're saying.
It's like you can be something that they've never seen.
You was too good to be true to him.
Yep. And those was his exact words. That's what I saw my mama do, my sister do, and the women that I like got involved with. That ain't what you doing. And I don't believe this. I believe this because I didn't seen this my whole life. But he said, if your mama and dad are a hoe, chances are you gonna be a hoe. I personally don't agree with that because some people, exactly what you saw is everything you don't want to be. And that was my case. My daddy was married when he got me. My mama was the lady he cheated on his wife.
So you and got was pregnant. The love child.
I was the love child. And me having trauma from a daddy that wasn't there because he got another family, I hate cheaters. So my mama and daddy being hoish made me anti-hoish.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think that's 80-20.
Probably, but
yeah,
we approach things like the majority rules, and that's just not the case.
Yeah, but you don't make cases for every single thing. Like if I know you do this is 80%, I'm gonna kind of judge you off the 80% instead of the 20 because that'll be hard.
That's normal. To judge, that's what I'm saying. But that's it puts people issue. Like us in. Well, I just got to take it because I'm the 20%.
Well, I think what said was saying like if you grow up seeing your mother, grandmother, aunts, and cousins being whorish, you see the activity of that, right? So you're seeing all the different men, you're seeing the possibly outfits, you're seeing environments that contribute to this is the image, right? But I'm understanding your mom wasn't bringing you around, other situations like in which you came up with. So you didn't really get a visual of
whorish activity.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So did you see whorish activity?
Okay, my bad. I ain't want to call your mom that, but I was just saying.
So, and this is just because I think my mom is amazing because my mama was playing the cards that was dealt to her. I am one of the women who grew up in a household. My mama slogan that she was teaching us for as long as I can have memories was no finance, no romance. Yeah. Meaning my mama was one of those women, my nigga, if you not breaking bread, I'm not spreading legs. That's just, I don't know who taught her like that, but somewhere along the line, that's what she developed. Because she did grow up in a 2-parent household. I had a granddaddy that was a stand-up man, came home at night, treated my grandma how she was supposed to be treated, and my mama, this is where she grew up.
She rebelled.
No romance, no finance.
She rebelled.
I did see whorish activity because I saw the 90s booty shorts. I watched old men buy my mama groceries when she went in the grocery store because she was putting it out there.
I want to hear.
I've never sold a piece of coochie in my life. I don't even know how to market it. I don't even know what
She
price
said,
to
"I don't know
put
how to
on
market
it.
it."
I don't even know how to have that conversation. Like, you got to give me this.
What you said.
You know what I'm saying? So, yes, I absolutely did see that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's what I grew up seeing. I'm not.
But okay, so let me say something real quick, then we'll let Chris go. I think 80-20, and the reason I say 80-20 because I know a lot of guys now that grew up without a father who are good fathers now. But I still see a lot of fathers that didn't have their daddy and they still leave for the most part. But I still occasionally see a guy here and my daddy went there. So I don't want to be like my daddy because I know the pain that I feel. But like I said, most of the time you're gonna mimic what you see. That's the whole point of parenting. And we can't say parenting isn't one of the biggest influences on our life because it is, you know. What do you say, Chris?
I just say hit one of them comments. I think Delilah said ain't no female in her right mind. What was that?
Getting trains
ran on her for attention.
Oh, she's saying what you was talking about earlier under the bleachers.
She was saying under the bleachers at that age.
Yeah, I believe that.
I know some.
Yeah, I know some for sure.
It's like attention encompasses or it entails a bunch of different things. It's not the fact that you looking at me. It's more to it than that. It's a certain validation because you're gonna be in the conversation, maybe in a group chat with these cool sector of guys. It's gonna spread. So a lot of time. It's like publicity. Everybody want, no matter if it's good or bad. As long as I'm talked about, I'm fine with that. So I think that may be what Sid was speaking about when it came to attention.
She said, ain't no female in her right mind getting no trains ran on them for.
Now I do agree, the right mind
being the key point. Yeah. A lot of people aren't operating from a place of a right mind, and it do have a lot to do.
But I think she minimizing attention to just it's bigger than just attention.
Yeah,
it's a plethora of things.
I ain't saying that. I'm gonna say something. I think I'm in my right mind, but I still like attention too. I think there's certain levels of attention that people like, and some people that go to extremes. I love certain attention, but it got to be.
I feel like when you post a picture on Facebook with your ass in the camera, you want a certain level of attention from that.
But what if a woman posts a picture with just her face?
I was about to say, because I post selfies. Yeah, I'm cute.
That's what I'm saying. It's different
in general.
Yeah. Come on, we post for people to look at it and see it.
And so I think when you think about getting trains ran on you, I think we like, damn, that's an extreme for some attention. But I think that person really could be in their right mind. And I want this level of attention. I'm going to do it because I need this much attention. Where we might be like, hey, I might need 3 likes on my picture. I'm good. Somebody else be like, no, I need 1,000 likes on this picture. So I might have to do this twerk challenge real quick. I might have to, be half naked to show my nipples on screen a little bit to get 1,000 likes. But me, I might be cool with just 3 likes. We both can simply be in our right mind, but some people need just more levels of attention. And we see that a lot. Like I've dated women, I had 2 relationships. Both of them come from single mothers, and they were the only children. One was a recluse. My mama wasn't there. I just sit and read books. I did X, Y, and Z. And the other one was wild. Every time we go somewhere, she want to go on the floor, do the line dances, want to twerk. She wearing the short shorts and stuff like that. So it just depends on,
Is it wrong to want attention?
No. I don't think it's wrong, but I think we all judge. Like I said, that's why I think when we had these conversations, it's hard. I judge people, but I try to judge people on the spectrum because I don't know why you would need that much attention. I don't know what's in you that makes you happy when you get that level of attention. Because sometimes I think it gets to me, if I'm judging, a borderline weirdo. It's kind of weird for a person to be like a Justin Bieber or Kanye West and they get mad at paparazzi. You don't give you. This is what you want. You try to act like, oh, I don't like the paparazzi this. But when you throw some or break a paparazzi camera, that's going to go bigger. Justin Bieber broke this, or you know what I'm saying? So when we had these conversations about attention, I think most people want attention. Most people like attention. It's just the levels that you're willing to seek to go through to get what level of attention that you want to see.
See, I'm gonna push back just a little
I
bit.
was about to.
Because when you gave Kanye West, like I can't say like more recently than before he's had aggravation with that, but I think sometimes it's time and place when that attention is had, because there are times when, you know, celebrities do seek this attention, right? They're gonna call TMZ, they're gonna call these people, they're going to New York Fashion Week, they already know what comes with it. You are trying to take your kids to school. I don't think that that's warranting some level of attention. Like, I always go back to Britney Spears. I don't know if you guys remember, like, she was one of the first celebrities that I knew as a child, but seeing the amount of attention that she would get doing normal things that didn't garner that attention, pumping gas.
That's just like saying, I want to be famous.
Going to her kid's father's house to get the children, not being able to see and drive, like those kind of things. I think it is times where she want to be seen by the paparazzi.
She wanted her career, but that ain't mean I want paparazzi. Just because I want to be a famous singer,
I think it's
don't
okay
mean
to
I
want the
want
paparazzi
in my face 24/7.
It's the time and place.
It's invasion of privacy.
They don't get to choose.
I don't think it's a certain
since
thing.
you said you gonna be famous, you choosing it.
Depending. It's kind of crazy for me to say, hey, I don't want y'all here, but I'm Britney Spears. This is what you go for. This is literally, we can't act like this does not come with celebrity. It's like saying, hey, I'm gonna fuck 45 niggas, but y'all can't call me a hoe.
That's the
I'm
thing.
gonna put it back a little bit on that.
The world decides what comes with my choices, and that shouldn't be the thing.
It's a time and a place. Like certain things, it encroaches its invasion of privacy. I'm going to get my children. My children may be sick. Like I seen something recently where they trying to get Beyonce to speak about her children and may be dealing with some type of deformity or something. That's an invasion of privacy. She's not necessarily looking for attention just because she's Beyonce. Now you overreaching now. Now if I get on the internet with a gold dress and I'm sashaying, now I'm looking for attention.
Okay, so let me ask y'all. We can cut it right here. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Yeah. So y'all remember when Michael Jackson had his kids over the balcony?
I mean, I've heard of it.
Yeah. That was a big thing, right?
Yeah.
So someone right now that says, I want to be famous. Right now. Say, I want to do anything to become famous, but we got these, we got Kanye West, we got Justin Bieber, use Britney Spears, I use Michael Jackson. If a person right now decides to be famous and they got somebody doing all that with your kids, you wouldn't say, well, you got all of these circumstances before that. Is it really invasion of privacy if you know what comes with it? Like, we ain't got to guess.
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
I'm going to get my children from school. This ain't got nothing to do with no motherfucking rap song that you infatuated with, my dog. Because really, let me go. Because really, it started at home to where it started the house to where, hey, because I don't believe in celebrityism. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in seeing a motherfucking losing my motherfucking mind because this person got 8 million followers on Instagram. So started with the in-house. Hey, I know you're gonna see celebrities, but they're still human. Just because this motherfucker want to take a piss, don't mean you run up on them with 9 cameras flashing. It's you at this point. So even the fact that I'm famous, the people that still doing
what you saying? I agree.
Yeah. So I'm saying everything don't warrant attention.
I agree with that aspect.
Yeah.
But it would be crazy, and I would be remiss if my son said, "Hey, Dad, I want to be famous." Well, you know they're gonna take a picture of you with your dick out. I wouldn't tell my son that, and then he gets mad. Oh, Dad, I took a picture with my dick out. Well, I told you that.
Well, no, I'm taking it from.
I agree with what both y'all saying. You should be taking pictures with my kids.
No. We taking it off the paparazzi. I'm talking about the person. The person is not necessarily doing that to garner attention. I'm just picking my kids up.
I get what you're saying, but I'm saying that what comes with it. Even you can't say
that's the problem, though. We have made it what come with it, and no. My success
it ain't got nothing to do with
shouldn't
me.
Come with your ignorance just because I'm successful.
Exactly.
And you don't have no respect of boundaries. And we say, oh, it come with it. That's us giving excuses to poor behavior. She famous, so she don't get no respect and privacy. Because that's what come with it. So that's absurd.
Since we're talking about healing, I'm glad we're here. So let's go here. So do y'all think there are things in life when we go out on a day-to-day basis that we should do to protect ourselves? Everybody agree? You don't think so? Nobody say, "Oh, you shouldn't be a predator. You shouldn't be a murderer. You shouldn't be a kidnapper." We don't. Nobody has that. We understand that there are things that they are, and when we go outside, we might need to protect ourselves. We see niggas walk around every day with a gun on their hip just because of protection, not because I think that it's just because something might pop off. We agree?
I agree.
Y'all know people that walk around with guns on a daily basis just because. Okay, so since people have that mindset already. Because of just because shit, that's how when we talk about healing, a lot of people have a mindset it shouldn't be. And that ain't how the world works.
We're not talking about that.
No, that's what she really just said.
No, I'm talking about my point.
No, I'm talking about it.
No, actually, that's what you just said.
No, you
literally said I should expect your poor behavior because it comes with being successful.
No, you said I gave an excuse.
Hold on. That is making an excuse.
Okay, so I'm saying
hold on. So you just said people walk around with guns every day, and we don't say, "Oh, you shouldn't be a murderer." I'm strapped every single day, everywhere that I go. That don't give me. She scrapped, so she should have been protecting herself from the murderer. The murderer still wrong for being a murderer. It don't matter that I'm protecting myself.
Did you hear what I said though? Because you obviously didn't. I said we all agree. We all agree that you should be able to do something. But we know the world does not work like that. You said I'm giving excuses.
We still shouldn't. I know the world is full of predators. And I should teach my daughter against the predators. I should teach her not. But I still can't give an excuse and say she should have checked her daughter though. Yeah, he a predator. But she should have told her daughter. No, the issue is the predator. The issue ain't that I did or did not protect my child. The issue will forever be that person is a predator.
I would disagree with that because y'all saying two different things. Like, I want to make sure because we agree to a degree. There are predators and people or offenders to whatever degree out there. My point is, when I do something, doesn't necessarily mean I'm doing it for an interaction with said predator or offender.
So the issue is gonna be with who? You for doing what you did, or for the predator for being a predator?
Well, no. It's not the most so issue. It's the mindset going into it. If I'm taking my kids to school, I'm not doing that with the mindset that I'm going to get attention. I may know that these people are going to come up here, but I would just argue and say it's point to where I know I'm doing stuff for a certain level of attention, whether it's ass to camera, face selfies. Certain stuff I'm not doing for attention. I know there's predators and offenders that are present. It's nothing that I can do about them. Only thing I can do is mitigate my risk and do everything that I can keep my children safe.
And see, what you said is what I said. I agree.
Yeah,
you're not trying to, when you take a kid's school, you're not trying to. But like I said, if my son said, I wanted to be famous right now, Dad, I would say, hey, there's going to be somebody to take a picture of you with your dick out.
Or with your kids.
With your kids. Yeah. I'm going to tell them that. You know why? Because I've seen too many instances where that happened. That would be crazy as me as a parent to say, hey, son, you shouldn't. You should be able to take your kids out all lackadaisical and not expect them to have. Baby, people are crazy. I'm the person, and I'm tell y'all something. A lot of times I'm a victim blamer. So I'm on the side of the victim blamer most of the time. And the reason that I'm just gonna be honest, and the reason that I do this because we have a lot of issues where people don't hold themselves accountable when they put themselves in victimizing situations. So and I also believe that some people are just going to be victims because they have a mindset that it should. For instance, they have to cat through the eyes of a rapist, right? So through the eyes of a rapist, they go and they research and they talk about what the rapists look for, right? The rapists say, hey, I look for women with their hair tied up, them being on their cell phone, not paying attention, being alone, nighttime, the alley. And then I see men say, hey, this is one of the things that they say that men look for, easily accessible clothing. Maybe you shouldn't wear easily accessible clothing. Now, we all agree you should be able to wear whatever you want. I ain't argue. Baby, you should. You can wear whatever you want. Feel free. Have your nipples out. Have your coochie out. Wear a thong. Wear it. But they have also said, baby, when you walk out here, there's niggas out here that say, hey, when you wear that little shit, I can easily rip it off of you and take your cat. Now, you're going to say, well, it shouldn't be like that. Baby, that's not you're not even living in the real world. I say this all the time, and I tell my sons this. It's always a motherfucker waiting around the corner to fuck you in the ass.
What?
I agree with that.
It's always, and if we have a mindset that it ain't, that you just finna just go through life and nobody finna get over on you, when you go to buy a car, that the car salesman means your best. Oh, we're gonna get this great rate for you. We're gonna drop the price. They say car salesmen are some of the worst people that's out there to be selling you a car. And people still go through the same rigmarole, think you got a good deal, and then you find out, baby, you go talk to your family, I got a 25% interest. What? Well, the car salesman said that was good. Gotcha.
Now, like I said, so we laid the groundwork. Now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's conversation. This healing journey.
Hold on, because we're finna move on.
Yo, go ahead. You got to the meat and potatoes.
I gotta say these. Healing is being able to teach.
Well, you jumping the gun.
Hold on,
I'm about to lay that out.
Hold on, you don't want to jump the gun.
Wearing the short skirt versus don't rape the lady in the short skirt. Healing is realizing that the lesson should always be rape is wrong, not you wearing the skirt is gonna get you raped.
But hold on. Let me address. Let's get it clear.
Because I'm always be against victim blaming. The victim is never the problem.
Listen, did you hear me? I'm gonna say this again. We all agree. I agree with you as well. You should be able to do what you want to do. Did you hear me?
Yeah, we just have to be careful with examples we use. This is a podcast, people watching it. Let's not use the example.
No, I'm using
the skimpy clothes is going to get you raped. No. The rape is what's wrong there, not the skimpy clothes.
No, I have to use that too because sometimes people put themselves in a fucked up situation. And we always, when we talk about healing, it's always what happened to me, but we never look at the lens. Well, what did you do to cause said thing to happen?
We got to root it.
They always look at that lens.
Wearing the short skirt is not what got me raped.
Hold on. Let me say this. I'm gonna say, listen closely. If I just told you the man said, because we all agree, I don't know where you're missing this part at. We all agree, and you keep cutting me out. We all agree. You should be able to do what you want to do with your attire, or where you go, or where you travel. And this is really a woman's talking point. And you know why? Because even we talk about, I use the skimpy clothing because that's the drastic one. But me and Chris had a conversation right now. Chris said, hey, you want to go wear no, as you ain't Compton on this street, you want to go wear no LA hat because you know them is going to shoot your ass up because you in the wrong hood wearing the wrong shit. You know why I wouldn't do that? Because I understand that, hey, I'm doing something that I may not supposed to do because they might warrant some wrong attention. I use the rape because it seems like the rape is always the one that gets people going because now, as a woman, I should be able to do what I want to do. But as men, we had those same conversations. I can't wear this hat over here that says this because I know them niggas shoot me 45 fucking times. I'm going to be dead.
Let me add on to what you're saying. And I get what you're saying. Let's say, what's your dream car?
I'm just gonna put some out there. Audi QR6
with all the bells and whistles.
All the bells and whistles.
You get your Audi QR6, bells and whistles, deck the fuck out. Are you going to Inglenook and go in the gas station and leave your door open?
I'm not doing that. And who?
I'm using Inglenook for the extreme. Why are you not doing that? Because you know what?
I'm not doing it, period, because people steal
cars.
I'm
saying Inglenook specifically, whereas a lot of
they shouldn't steal cars.
Stealing is wrong, right? But you know in your mind, if you get that Audi brand new boy decked out with the forges on there, you know better than to go and leave it in Inglenook with the door open so you can go run in the gas station. They should take your car though, should it?
Exactly.
But you know better than to leave it out there for them to take it. That's the equivalent to what he's saying, dressing like with the clothes.
And I agree. And like I said, I don't want to hark on this point. You should be able to wear what you want to, but we got to live in reality. There are predators. Yeah. Everybody agree there are predators out there.
Yeah, thieves, predators, murderers, liars. But you open yourself up.
I protect my house in a certain type of way. I have guns laid around in my house just in case a nigga want to run in my house because a nigga shouldn't be able to run in my house, but just in case that nigga do.
But the thing is that don't equate though.
Why?
Because you describing a bad neighborhood where predators are everywhere. You can't pinpoint where a predator is.
You're right. And that's
people get shot in Beverly Hills.
Exactly.
LBG Duck got killed in a affluent part of Chicago. So crime happened everywhere. So you have to mitigate risk. When you do an insurance claim, you got damage. Hey, you might want to put a tarp up.
So how you gonna mitigate risk when you just said good things happen? I mean, bad things happen.
Well, if I know I'm going to a certain area, what kind of people gonna be in this area? You know what? I'm going to the club. It's dope boys, drug dealers. I'm gonna wear the shortest skirt I need. I'm gonna wear the shortest skirt in the hood. I'm gonna be at 3 a.m. You know what? I want it a little shorter. Do that make sense? Absolutely not.
I think it's depending on who you're petitioning to, right? If it's the court of public opinion, then those are the responses that you're going to get, right? But you are speaking of the court of law, which is there is only one assailant. Right. And that is one person. And that is why there is a disconnect, because you guys are talking to two different audiences. You guys are talking about the court of public opinion. You are talking about this is legally wrong. It is understood by law that this is wrong. There is no iterations.
We all agree.
There are no iterations that will say that it isn't. In the court of public opinion, you have iterations that say that you open yourself up to it. So
let me add a little bit to that. I'm speaking from the law of cause and effect, not public opinion. Cause and effect.
That is
I go to LA, draped up diamond VVS's in the Crip neighborhood wearing all red, knowing before I go out there what it's like. I'm a fool to do that.
Cause and effect.
Even though they don't supposed to run me. Right. I'm a fool to go out here because I already know better.
But and cause and effect, my short skirt didn't cause you to
it played a role.
Hold on, so I'm just gonna say this.
It played a role.
I don't even want my daughter or my son, whatever, he gets shot up in the neighborhood or she get raped. I don't even want her to get to the court. See, that's what I'm talking about. We talking about going through the court, her going through the process, her getting her justice, but I don't even want you to go to a point where you got to go out here and get justice.
Preventative measures.
That's what we talking about. I don't even want you to go through that trauma. So I'm telling you, baby, hey, these niggas said before they got to the court, hey, they did X, Y, and Z, because we done seen too many times where, hey, rape sometimes is some of the hardest thing to prove.
Dog, don't go out there with that. I know they don't supposed to rob you, dog. Don't go out to LA wearing all red with your VVS with 80,000 in jewelry. They don't supposed to rob you.
You dead on the street.
Come on, dog.
You dead on the street.
That's why I say we rooting these in realistic. It's the laws of nature is ugly. Animal, it's dog eat dog. You food. If you go out here looking like food, you're gonna be treated like food. That's point blank, period.
And see, these are the conversations I think they get touchy and iffy, because like I said, if you live in the mindset of something that shouldn't happen, I live in the mindset of what is. And we all agree, once again, there's predators. I agree. Legally, he shouldn't do it. With you, I agree. Nobody should take. I think that's sick. That's the most, even criminals in prison, some of the worst thing you could do is rape somebody in prison. They treat you worse than the murderers. That's a fact. We all agree. You've all heard that. They treat you worse. If you mess with molesting kids and raping women, they treat you worse in prison, worse than the murderers. So we all agree that's some heinous shit that we should not be doing. That I agree. I don't condone any of that, but it would be dumb on my part to sit there if I had a daughter to say, "Oh yeah, they gonna get that. They gonna get justice in court."
I also think too, it is a perspective that women can experience that men don't. Right? Because I'm sure we've all been somewhere, turtleneck down, sweatpants down, and still got inappropriate comments, looks, touches, things like that, right? And so I think that is an experience that you guys will never be able to experience.
I disagree. Because
as a woman, you won't. As a woman, you won't.
What you hold on. So let me say this.
Went to that gas station.
I'm not done.
Hold on. Let it go.
Okay, thank you. As a woman, I don't think that we share the same experiences as men. They can be adjacent, but they are not going to be the exact same. So can you be catcalled? Yes. I'm not saying that you can't.
I've had my dick grabbed.
Right. Okay. I don't disagree that you can't experience
but
sexual
assault.
But you have
gray
sexual
sweatpants. You shouldn't have wore those gray sweatpants because you know that gray sweat. That's crazy. I'm being sarcastic.
No, but I agree with you
to the furthest degree because that's absurd. But that's the narrative that we push, though.
But I agree with you.
But that's healing. We can't continue to push it's the normal thing.
If I could finish.
When it's not normal. I'm sorry.
Finish. And so I think the vantage point in which we come from is, while those are some statistics that, are proven from whatever documentary you watched. I asked you this before. Was it a specific group of men that they interviewed that raped a specific group of women, right? Because we know that anybody can get raped. Mm-hmm. And so there are people that are attracted to short skirts, and they could have only sought out that to support whatever documentary that they're doing, because we do know a lot of documentaries only seek out a small group of people
Bias.
to support what
That's
they're
very cool.
I
pushing,
get that.
right?
I agree with that.
And so I
Certain
think that's
cohort.
also another perspective, because you can wear sweatpants, a turtleneck. You can even have on a hijab and the Muslim garb and still be assaulted by men. And I think that is the point in which you're coming from, that it doesn't matter if you're wearing a skirt. It doesn't matter if you're wearing jeans. It doesn't matter if you are a child. It doesn't matter if you are a baby. It doesn't matter if you was running down the street, you was at the gas station, you was at the church. If somebody has the propensity to rape you, they're going to do it regardless.
Okay, so hold on. This clear up the reason I said that. One, the reason I use rape, because when you use assault, yeah, you can walk out fully clothed and they can come grab your ass and your titty.
Okay, well, we do understand
So-
that women get raped, children get raped, old people get raped, mentally incompetent people get raped.
Men get
It
raped.
happens. Men
yeah.
get raped.
Yeah.
It happens across the board, and
Right.
I think that is just the example. And while I do agree, you said that the group of men that they talked to
Mhm.
was in that specific niche, in a variety. I wonder if that would be what all of them say. If they just
Now-
pulled 100 rapists, regardless of if it was an older person, a younger person, a child molester, or anything,
Mhm.
if they would all have that same
I want to add on to that because
description.
I used to research rape. I used to watch Chris Hansen a lot,
Mhm.
and I used to do a lot of research on as far as rapists and rape victims, and they did gather information where predators. One of the top 3 indicators or the top 3 things that rapists look for: no father around, from the child perspective and from the young daughter perspective, making sure no man is present, because men are protectors by nature.
Right.
A lot of the times, I think they did it with Ted Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
No dad around. Dad ain't really present. He ain't active. That's usually number one. Is there a man around that can stop me or unalive me?
Yeah.
Ain't no dad there. Oh yeah, get him out of there. So now, the mitigation of the risk has to increase. So I may not have no daddy, but I need to have some uncles, some cousins. I need to have some type of male reinforcement. So that was number one. The second part is these things can happen, but let's say in California they got a road called Figueroa Street. Number of prostitutes. They had to run off some young minors because they couldn't tell the age. Like, man, these little girls. When you look at the clothing, all of the clothing is similar. All of the dress and presentation is similar. I'd be hard pressed to find, and I was do a survey, say, hey, go out here and put on a hoodie and sweats and see how many men ride by you and say how much. And you go out here and wear a fishnet miniskirt, and I'm gonna ask you the same thing. That percentage ain't gonna be 50-50.
I will say with Chris Hansen, I still watch him to this day. I just watched him
I
today.
like, yeah.
And you've seen True Blue, his new series.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, so he has 13 seasons out. I watched all of them.
Is it the same as the other one?
It's
How to Catch a Predator.
similar, but they have more steps because they're actually going for child trafficking now. That's like one of the most important things. But they actually do have men on there that are the liaison, right? So they have the predator who are contacting the man who is selling his child. If it's a boy, it's a girl, it's their stepdaughter, it's their real kid, it's their foster kid, it's the girlfriend's kid. So I don't even think that they have a threat of a man being present if they're like, you cool with it? It was actually a guy on there who was trying to engage with both of them, the daughter and the dad at the same time, a threesome.
I can see that.
You know what I mean? And so I don't think that there's always, or I don't think that level of a threat is always in the back of their head when they be like, oh, okay, your uncle gonna be there, he cool with it. They be saying stuff like that on the seasons now. So I do think, not having a father present is important, but when someone has the propensity to do something, they're gonna do it.
I would say that would be true for those extreme, because like I said, child trafficking and then just a rape one-off, I think those are 2 different dynamics that we'll be getting into. But I know we're not on a tangent, but I do want to, like I said, on our last quarter, from the healing journey.
Because I was gonna ask, when we talking about
but before you go, because I want to get your perspective. Like I said, we're gonna round it up and wrap it up. What does a person need to do to heal from, let's say, a heartbreak, a sexual assault, or something in that realm? What is it they need to do, and is it the same?
That's
the process.
The first step, the main part of the process, which this is what the conversation the root of this conversation was. What are you healing from?
Yeah.
A lot of people make the mistake of thinking, oh, I'm on a healing journey from this, from you did this to me. when in actuality, the most important step in the healing journey is realizing what it is we're healing from. Sometimes it's not the actual relationship that you're healing from. Sometimes it's what in me made me suffer from whatever they was doing for so long.
Choose the relationship.
Because sometimes that's what you're healing from. What made you continuously choose this hurtful pain? Because when we think of healing, it's a scar, it's something open that needs to put itself back together, regenerate some kind of cells.
Well, you hear women say, I'm celibate now. I ain't having you. These are some of the things I see as far as examples. I'm celibate. I'm going to church.
Yeah, because celibacy and abstinence abstinence is a period of time that I am abstaining from having sex for whatever reason.
Or
celibacy, I'm not engaging in sex again for whatever your reason is. Mm-hmm. It's not a period of time. When you say you're celibate, a person who's practicing celibacy, they don't plan on having sex again. Abstinence is just abstaining from the act of sexual intercourse.
Or if
so they might be saying
you can abstain from anything too. You can abstain from alcohol, sex, whatever.
So basically, they'd be like, I'm
celibate, but
they marry.
Celibate until marriage.
So they practicing abstinence until marriage.
They're not celibate.
Oh, okay. I'm blocked.
I just learned something.
Celibacy, you're not gonna have sex again.
Okay.
Yeah,
period.
It's basically
nuns are celibate
or a monk.
Oh,
a monk.
So you're not doing it no more.
You're not doing no more.
Okay. Because I seen this here where I took a vow of celibacy.
You ain't getting no more.
Okay.
Never
So like I said, I see some of these use it. You need to abstain from sex. Get you a hobby. Like I said, what does the journey entail from, let's say, a heartbreak versus, let's do heartbreak first and then we'll get into so everybody at the minute had their heartbreak. We'll get into it because it seems like in some cases women go through heartbreak when you look at some reports, divorce, he did this and this, but they're dating within a month. And then you have some women that go through it and say, well, they go through the Erykah Baduism, change the whole look, eyeshadow, black rings, all type of shit. Cut their hair off, So from the heartbreak perspective, what is the thing that women you would recommend, or what are some of the things you've seen or heard from women doing to heal through the heartbreak?
Healing through the heartbreak first is sitting with the emotions that you're in right now. You feel sad or angry.
Like naming it
and actually sitting in there. Because sis might have got cheated on and her heart is broken and she feels sad. I might have got cheated on and my heart is broken and I feel misused or angry towards you. Or so your emotion, what you're feeling, what broke your heart? Was it the cheating? Was it because we had an understanding, like really knowing what you're healing from is the first step. Whether or not you need to not date or be celibate or practice abstinence, that's a personal thing. She might not need to not date on her healing journey. A healing journey don't mean you got to be sitting in the house, not doing it. You just got to be sitting in your healing. How you heal and how I heal might be different.
So I'm asking you, because you're the healing guru. So what would you recommend, and what are some things you see in common with most women that may come to you for your services, advice, etc., or even some of the groups you're in? What are some of the common things that women do to heal from a heartbreak? Like I said, I've seen
common good things or bad things.
Either way, I've seen a lot of women say I'm abstaining. Sex is usually the number one thing I see they take it off the table.
I want to say, like Ashley was saying, you have to actually sit with those emotions, but also you have to understand too that healing not gonna happen overnight. It really happens in stages. You have to be able to willing to accept that, okay, I'm gonna focus on this part of it. I'm gonna hone in on this and try to work to heal from that. See what happened, what I did to cause what happened. And also you have to give yourself grace. You have to.
No, okay, I get that. I'm saying, what are the, like, if I say, hey, write me a list and give it to me on a piece of paper, what's going to be on your list?
I couldn't do that, but in terms of heartbreak.
Wouldn't it be a prescription based?
No.
Like based on different people?
That's the thing.
Based.
That's why there is no list, because how you heal and what you need to heal from is different stuff you're going to need to do.
Okay.
Let's see, he cheated. Okay.
Most women have I cheated.
The first thing in healing from a heartbreak from somebody cheating on you is sitting with the fact that them cheating had nothing to do with you. somebody cheating on you, that's a them thing.
Hold on, let her go.
I
want to hear this.
That's a personal choice.
Okay.
Because let's say he cheated. You might not never know why that man cheated. You might find out, break up with them, and go on about your life. The point is, if you're in a monogamous relationship, because we got to unpack all of that first. Were we supposed to only be dealing with each other? Yes, it was just me and him. We had to talk about monogamy. I don't cheat, you don't cheat, we together. And that person cheats, that's a decision that they made. Whether or not it was because something you were doing or not, your sex could have been trash, you could have been acting different. That was still a choice that they made, because if they cheated because you weren't doing something, they had every chance to, hey, you're no longer serving me, let's break up. That's a choice that they did. That shouldn't have a hit on your self-esteem, which it does, because we all be feeling like, oh, well, I'm not living up to this standard. That's why they cheated on me.
That's why I was going to ask, is there ever a time you could force somebody to cheat on you?
Force somebody to cheat on you?
Like, let's say you just say you ain't been in the mood, and they say, okay, well, I'm gonna go out here and do X, Y, Z with an old girl.
Is that cheating? If you told me you was gonna do X, Y, Z, and I said okay?
Yeah, because if you establish at the beginning that we're not having sex with anybody, even if I tell you, that still would be cheating.
I don't think that's cheating.
That's a construct. I don't think that's cheating.
It's like terms and conditions.
If I know about it, you're not cheating on me, because there's no.
Hold on. What do you mean when you say mutual decision?
Because if you tell me you gonna cheat on me and I say okay.
No, if you tell me you're gonna be sexually active with someone else and I say okay, that's not cheating.
It's not cheating.
That means I'm cool with it.
We have set the boundaries in our relationship.
But I'm not saying that I said okay.
Yeah, that's not cheating.
But I'm not saying that I said okay. I'm just saying, let's say you say, hey, you're not in the mood, and I say, hey, you ain't been in the mood the last 2 months. I'm gonna go have sex with somebody else, and then you don't say yes or no. You told me you was gonna do it. I never agreed. I never complied. I never said that was a good idea. You just told me and walked out the room or something. Let's say that happened.
Yeah, that's cheating. But that's still a choice that you made. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
I think if you say I'm finna go cheat and you just walk out the house and it's like no protest, like she don't get up, run after you, call you, text you, do anything to stop you, I think she cool with it. I just do. It's a silent complicity. It's not cheating.
Cheating is when you got the answer to the test and the teacher catch up and you don't supposed to have the answer. You're doing it in secrecy. If I vocalize I'm finna go fuck off, it ain't cheating at that point. I told you. I don't give a fuck if you acknowledge it or said okay, yes or no.
But what if everybody else was taking the test a certain type of way and I see you, but I let you do it?
If I tell the teacher I got the answers, I'm not cheating. If she know I got the answers, I'm not cheating at that point because she know I got the answers.
I disagree, but
if she don't protest,
if I say I'm finna go fuck another chick, I don't need you to say shit. I already told you what I'm finna do. The fact that you didn't say nothing, you gave me the green light. If I go and cheat and then say nothing to you and you catch me, now it would come out. Now I'm cheating because I did it on the slick. If I vocalize you, I'm finna go fuck another chick, you don't say shit, it's not cheating. I told you what I'm finna go do.
So what did she say? No, you still gonna do. That's cheating then.
Yeah.
No, that's not cheating because I told you. Cheating is doing it in secrecy.
Hold on, but she said, no, I don't want you to do it. Because hold on, the reason y'all are in a relationship, you said, hey, we're gonna be with each other, but I haven't performing. I come to you, say, hey, baby, you haven't been performing. I'm finna go find some performance somewhere else. He says he's gonna do it. And she says, no, I don't want you to find a performance. Just give me a little. And she said, baby, just give me a little time. And
so he's either gonna agree or not. If he agree, he gonna do it. He cheating.
Because what it is
if he say, okay, I feel y'all understand you going through and then you still go do it, that is cheating. But if he walk out, I'm assuming that if he say, well, I'm finna go get some anyway, I'm assuming there is no
because it'd be like anymore. You giving me permission to do what I want to do anyway. Just because you don't or do give me permission, if I go and fuck with another chick out of your knowledge, that's cheating.
That's cheating.
If we have a conversation and you say, give me some more time and I still go, that's not cheating.
So even if you tell her, she said, I don't want you to do it, that's not cheating.
No.
Okay.
No. Because you giving me, you trying to make it seem like you gave me permission. No. If I get caught doing something that you don't like or haven't agreed or seen me do.
But doesn't that have to be some level of permission given in relationships?
No. This the thing you said. No. If she don't, like if you tell her you gonna do it and I didn't agree, I'm assuming that's the end of our relationship.
No,
yeah, because you tell me no by leaving me, not by saying no. You leave me because now I done breached the
So
relationship.
that's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Like if we having a talk and you say, "No, Ashley, you ain't got no time.
You telling me I ain't with that.
Something open.
This relationship is over.
I'm assuming
now
our relationship is over.
It's over because I want to explore my options. But if you don't have to say no, nah, baby, give me I already told you I'm finna go fuck off.
And see, I think cheating is like when we're not moving on one accord. That's kind of how I feel,
That's
right?
how
So if my man comes to me and say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go," this sounds crazy. Hey, I'm finna go cheat on you, and I say, "Cool," and I don't respond back. I don't give any pushback. I don't feel like that's cheating. But if he say, "Hey, I'm interested in this girl. You ain't doing X, Y, and Z. I'm finna go do it," and I be like, "No, don't do that." I feel like, and then you decide to do it. I feel like now you have stepped outside of the boundary, right? Mm-hmm. Now you stepped outside of the perimeter. Even though we've had a conversation about it, we are not on one accord. So now we've exited the relationship, and now we are in the boundary. Let me keep something
to say it real quick. Let's say you working overtime, right? Or your shift over. Mm-hmm. You tell your supervisor, "Hey, I'm gonna work 6 more hours." Mm-hmm. And he don't say shit. Mm-hmm. And you work them. Well, I told him I was gonna work 6 more hours. Are you still in time? Because he said, "No, you can't work that."
Say it again one more time.
Your shift over.
Okay. Your
shift manager right here. You say, "Hey man, I'm gonna work 6 more hours." Yeah. He don't really acknowledge. He just kind of wave you off. And you work those 6 extra hours. And they come back and say, "Hey man, you stole some time."
He didn't agree, but no, it's not stealing time if he see me doing it. But he's seeing me doing it.
But you told him you finna do it.
Yeah, but
he ain't acknowledged it or processed it.
But that wasn't even the question. My question was if I say no. So if you work the 6 hours and I told you no, you gotta go home because we ain't got the hours to give you, and you sit there and work, you still stole some time.
Yeah. In that context, yeah. But I'm saying from the woman, if I'm saying, "Hey, I'm finna go do this," no matter the reason, you don't give me permission. I already told you this is what I'm finna do. You protested by ending the relationship.
Well, no, because
we breached the agreement.
No, because if you don't need permission, you wouldn't have said it, right?
If you don't I'm giving you a chance to make amends. Like, "Hey, I'm finna go."
Based on his example, not to do it.
I'm saying based on his example, he say, "Hey, you ain't been fucking me. I
said, "Hold on, baby, give me a little time." I did say, she said, "Hey, baby, give me a little time." Whatever, mentally or physically, she got to get a motor going back again or whatever. She might be going through a slump. She might not been sexually turned on, and you like, "Hey, I need it." And she said, "Baby, hold on, give me a little time, with the whoop." And you say, "Hey, I'm still gonna do." You don't give me. You saying you don't give me permission to do nothing.
Yeah,
but I feel like
I still walk in that door.
But I disagree because I think you do have to have permission in relationships, though.
Not if I'm gonna do some bullshit.
Then why you asking?
Yeah, I'm saying like if you're gonna do it either way, so what's the point?
Well, I'm telling her because
because my thing is, if she gonna protest by leaving you, why you just won't leave then?
Why she won't leave?
So it's not cheating because she won't leave then.
Yeah, it ain't cheating. Because I'm saying if we came to a relationship and said, "Hey, it's just gonna be me and you," and I bring the idea, say, "Hey, I'm finna go fuck with this other chick," no matter what the dynamic is,
you're cheating.
I breached the agreement in the relationship. It's your duty to leave me.
Well,
not me to leave you.
But no, because cheating might not be a deal breaker for her, but it may be a deal breaker for you. And just because you cheated doesn't mean that her relationship ends, right? But it still doesn't mean that you didn't cheat.
Yeah, but I'm saying her response
is true. Is true.
I agree. I'm saying, but her response to say, "Hey, I'm not with that," is leaving me, not saying no.
But you still cheated, Chris.
No, I told you.
You did.
Raise your hands. You believe that's cheating?
It's cheating.
Okay.
I'm
gonna ask. I got one.
You telling me that mean you bold enough to tell me this time? That what that mean?
This time.
That mean you bold enough to tell me this
that
time?
That nigga that got mad and said, "Fuck
yeah.
it,
Look, I'm finna go and tell you what I'm finna do because you ain't doing what you need to do. So get what? I'm finna go out here with this shouted.
That's
it.
Okay, so we'll get back. Like I said, because we want to
keep
keep it on the healing.
This time.
I'm gonna give you. If I ask you for a list to say, "Hey, I've been cheated on," let's say me as a man, I've been cheated on, I got mommy issues, all that shit. What's a list of things you would tell me to do to heal from that? And what time period would you recommend to say, "Hey, do this for this, and then come back and we'll revisit"? What does that look like?
There's really not a time. I can't put a time limit on it because it's so specific to people, but just where I would have to start with is self-love. Like the energy you was giving that relationship, give that time, that energy, just that effort back to yourself. get to know you, get to find, like she said, for some people, cheating is not a deal breaker.
Yeah.
So if you're healing from heartbreak, what broke your heart? Was it the cheating? Was it just the fact that you felt like the person didn't know you well enough? Because having sex with another person might not be my deal breaker, but my deal breaker might be you lied to me. So sitting with what you are broken about first is just what you want to do. Once you figure that out, however long it takes you to figure out what am I heartbroken from, that's the first step, however long that takes you. I personally feel like if somebody broke your heart, dating really should not be your first priority thing to be worried about, because if you're heartbroken, that means you're not completely whole. So why would you want to invite somebody else to get to know a version of you that's broken in any sense of the way? So that's why me personally, I would say, hey, maybe you want to pull back from dating right now, because this isn't the version of yourself that you would want to even present to a new person.
So take what I got from that is take time, put that time back in yourself. Okay, what will be something else that you would say? Okay, so take that time for yourself, get to know yourself, affirm and acknowledge that, hey, it wasn't because of you, because they cheated. All right, what would be another step? Let's say, give me 3.
And I would agree with an abstinence journey, because sex is so much more than just the physical.
Okay.
You taking on a lot of spiritual stuff when you do become sexually involved with somebody, and especially raw sex people, because we grown. It creates a chemical bond that don't have nothing to do with your heart and your mind. It's literally a physical thing. So you might want to not,
raw sex be feeling good, though.
It be feeling great, but it creates false narratives too. Because I have been able to cut a man off when I was not sexually involved with him versus being sexually involved with, I feel like, oh, we stuck. We bonded. No, that's just that chemical thing physically. So I personally would suggest abstaining from sex for a period of time. I personally feel like it should be a certain amount of time between partners.
Give me a ballpark.
You shouldn't be taking more than one meet in a 30-day period.
No, I'm saying me as a man. Like, if I'm a man coming to you, how much time would you say don't be fucking with no hoes or none of that?
Or do you more specialize with women in the
healing? Yeah. Let me ask that. Do
you more specialize with women in the healing journey, or men and women?
I get more women, but that's because of my line of business. But as far as what I do,
it's unisex.
It's unisex.
Okay, so it's from a man. How long would you tell me to abstain?
What's the longest you ever went without sex, Chris?
A year. Over a year.
Okay. So for you, that might look different. For somebody who ain't never even had a month in between partners, let's start small. Let's go with your first 30 days not having no sex.
30 days, okay.
30 days. 30 days on a minimum. Just don't worry about having sex with nobody.
Okay, so affirm, acknowledge, and then go start off small, 30 days, up to whatever. What's the third thing you would say? Hey, you need to do this to make sure your healing journey is successful.
Pick up one spiritual practice, whether that's meditating, that can be journaling, that can be yoga, stretching. Pick up some form of spiritual health. If you're a TV watcher, it could be, I'm going to read a book. If you are someone who's been wanting to work out, you know what, for 30 days, I'm going to focus, because that's called transmuting energy. Sometimes we be so obsessed on a person and a situation. If we take that energy and just put it into a project, it helps us, because we're not obsessing over this one thing. So I'm going to put all this obsessive energy into a project or a goal.
I like that. Okay. All right. So for the ladies, have y'all ever had a healing journey personally? Anybody? I know I went through one.
I did.
What's your healing journey entail?
I went through with her. Mine took time. I did it in stages.
I'm saying, like, what started? Like, what was
I started spending time with self doing yoga.
No. What happened to where you say you got to heal? Heartbreak, bad relationships.
It wasn't. It was a combination of things.
Maturation.
It was a combination of things, but I had to hold self accountable. That's really what it was, because I was making a lot of bad decisions at one time. So it was like something going on, something wrong.
You told me Okay. You did a lot of word salad there, but I pick up what you're putting down. So how long did that take to where you got wait? So right now you say I'm whole, I'm healed, I'm ready for a healthy relationship. You can say that right now.
4 years.
I'm saying so right now you said you ready. Okay.
It took 4 years though.
You ever been through a healing journey, Shanti?
I have, but not with a relationship. I kind of went through a healing journey with something personal. So I have gone through depression before. Got to a really bad place. And so for me, seeking professional treatment, professional help was always number one for me.
Okay.
And then also, in my opinion, I think you can't particularly heal from something if you're still connected to it, right? So violently remove yourself from that space, especially if it's, going on with the example is cheating. If you are on a healing journey from cheating, but you're still with the cheater, I don't really think that the healing journey has started. I think that we're pacifying. It ain't started. We just pacifying the hurt right now. You know what I mean? We trying to put a Band-Aid over it and, do some things to make us get over that hump, but we aren't really addressing the issue. So I think those are the common two things. If it is the scenario, abstaining from intercourse, I think is very, very important. You need to not separate physically and, down there too, because you can't heal if you're still
in the same
over there.
I agree with that. Okay.
True. And I wish it was like a list where you can go boom, boom, boom. But like she said, it depends on what you're healing from, because each healing journey is going to look like something different. My healing journey wasn't from like a specific thing or heartbreak. It was just in 2016, my life seemed to have been spiraling in so many different areas, career-wise, mental health-wise, physical health-wise. I was divorcing at the time. So my healing journey didn't really start with, this is what I'm healing from. I just knew this ain't what life is supposed to be.
And mine was the same. Mine was.
I know I need something, even if I don't know what it
journey
is.
was crazy.
Tell us it. What was your healing journey?
So I was married. Y'all know the story. I was married before.
No, we don't know the story.
Who is y'all?
I know the story.
Who is y'all?
I didn't heard
We got new viewers, bro.
Okay. Hey, if y'all watching, y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video. Make sure y'all follow us on all social media platforms. But I was married before. We was married for a long time, but actually married. We was married for like 2 years, and she cheated on me, and she got pregnant. And the whole thing about the pregnancy was dumb because she was on birth control the whole time. But then she got on birth control while she started cheating, and then she didn't know who the baby daddy was. That was some crazy fucking shit. Like I was like, how the fuck would you get on birth control if you're gonna start cheating, right? So then she didn't have no answers for that. And then, that was that. And then I ended up beating up her boyfriend real bad. I beat her up. It was bad.
We don't condone domestic violence.
We don't condone it. But then that's the question I was gonna ask y'all. What level of hurt? Like what? I don't know how to word it. What do y'all condone to be an okay revenge for something?
Well, hold on, say we want to hear that story.
Okay, yeah, I'm finished. But I was gonna ask y'all that question. What level of revenge do y'all okay if y'all get hurt by somebody? But yeah, that happened. So my healing journey looked like, and y'all gotta let me finish. My healing journey was a lot of sex, like a bunch of sex, right? A bunch of sex. This person, that person. I was working out, losing weight, in shape, dressed better. But I was having a lot of sex, right? And I wasn't particularly trying to heal. But I don't feel like I was having sex because I was hurt either. I just liked what I was doing. And the reason that I said the sex was the healing journey, because when I got to this person right here, this person was like, we was having conversations and stuff like that. And then we was talking about, the past, and we never really had like communication. And the thing about this person, we didn't have sex. Like I was trying to hit her. But then like when I was trying to hit her, I was like, this girl, she fine with the whoop or whatnot. And so like when we got cool, we started having conversations. We started spending time on the phone. And she was like, yeah, she's been abstinent or for 5 years. Am I using the word right? Abstinent for 5 years, and the reason she was abstinent because she had got hurt. So we having a conversation. I was like, "Oh, really?" So like we was on the phone late night, and I was telling everything that happened with my ex-wife. She said, "What you been doing? That was like 2 years ago that happened to you." I was like, "Well," I said, "I really just been having a lot of sex." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And then she was like, "Well, do you think this relationship was going to be like the last girls?" And I was like, "Yeah," I said, "I seen that ass walking around. I ain't gonna lie to you, I was trying to hit that ass." She's like, "Oh, okay." And so we just having a conversation. She was like, "Well, I'm gonna let you know that I'm not that type of chick. If you're just looking for sex, I think you should go on because I've been absent for 5 years, and this is not what it's gonna be." So we have more conversation. So we probably talked 6 months. Then we end up smashing. And then she was like, "I really like you. I want to be more with you," and such and such. She thought, I guess she called herself healing me or whatever. But we had sex, and then I realized having sex with her, that's when I realized I was hurt. That sounds fucked up. But having sex with her is when I realized I was like hurt. So I was like, damn, like I broke this girl. Like I really like this chick. I'm being a fuck nigga because I know I don't want to be nothing more than her with her. I just want to fuck her. I accomplished my goal. I'm ready to deal. Right. But we just got into a relationship. It was up and down. And she wanted me to be more religious. She wanted to push me in church and all this other type of stuff. So I'm like, I'm really not, feeling church with the whoop, all that and stuff. So then we had to have a real conversation, and she was like, I really was, abstinent 5 years. I, gave my body to you. I'm really serious about you. And she was like real serious, like call when I come. Like she was like there, emotional, talking to me and stuff like that. And I realized, like, look, I need to move on because this is not what you want. I know I'm finally can name it that I've been hurt, and I've been using women's bodies as masturbation tools. And the reason that I knew I was hurt having sex with her because it was a lot of emotion, because the other chicks I was having sex with, we was kind of smashing kind of quick. But with this person, I developed some type of emotional connection to her. So when we had sex, I think it made all of the emotions that was unhealed come back. You know what I'm saying? With my ex, I was like, damn, I need to fucking heal. So that's that. That's how that journey went.
So it sounds like your healing journey was actually started with that female. Like you was just doing something when you was having all the sex. So that your healing, that wasn't part of your healing journey. That was I think that
was part of the process, because I think if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have named why I was doing X, Y, and Z with those people too. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I had to be like, okay, I was doing this with this person, and then I was doing it recklessly too. Like it was when I say recklessly, I mean new chicks, and I'm raw dogging them.
Anthony Edwards.
So it's like, I'm like, bro, what am I doing?
Dog Willie.
And so it's like I'm out here recklessly doing this, and I'm talking about in a 6 month span, I was slaughtering hoes. Like, and it's not funny. It's not a badge on, because I tell people, sex for the most part with me has been. I have to have a connection with people. I know that now in my older life. Like I really love liking a person, being romantic with them, gifting them and stuff like that. So I have to have a connection. So regular sex does nothing for me, and I realized that as well through that journey. So like I said, I think even naming that, going back, like, yeah, I was fucking such and such because I was hurt. It was easy, and I was just doing something, basically trying to heal myself with some coochie, I guess I called it.
I don't think all heartbreak deserves a healing journey, though.
I just told.
I agree with you, Ashanti.
No, like when I had a friendship, y'all. I was friends with this girl, y'all. She catfished me in our friend group.
She catfished you?
Fried fish.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta hit this.
But this was before the show, y'all. I really wanted to write into the show because I found out all the details. She was one of my best friends. I'm talking about laying in, like, spending the night at my house right next to me, acting like a boy that's interested in me. Acting like a boy that's interested in our friend group. Now, like I told y'all, I had critical thinking skills, right? I went sending photos. It's girls that was in my friend group that had sent photos of themselves. We are in middle school, in high school. Sent photos of themselves in bra and underwear, some nude photos, some videos to this girl that is my friend. Like, and I grew up, with a 2-parent household. I grew up very comfortably. And so I've had this particular person didn't grow up in that way. My mom don't mind picking you up, making sure you get into where you go. When we go out, we all get the same thing. We go out, we go to the movies, we get all the same food, regardless if you only had $10 and I had $50. My mom and my parents are that way. And the disappointment, because not only, I don't know if y'all ever seen the show Catfish, right? But this was before the show, y'all, and the emotional heights and lows that this person went through over years. Like, I'm cutting this off. Like, okay, I'm in 8th grade, I'm in high school now. I got a real man. You know what I mean? Like, and you're still pursuing this. Cancer, children, somebody got hit by a bus. Yeah, it was crazy.
So the person was telling they was going through cancer and
making you feel bad, right? So when you want to disconnect, and then they do a big thing,
You
and
can't leave me right
You can't
now.
leave me right now. I need
you know,
you.
I'm going through this.
I need you.
I even found the real person on Facebook, and that person was a registered sex offender.
That's wild.
But they were using their photos. I'm talking about even sent me a photo. It was Photoshopped with my name tattooed on their arm. While I have a whole real boyfriend.
That's a sociopath right there.
I was gonna say this friend is psycho.
He's psycho like a motherfucker.
And so I didn't need to heal from that. I need to cut that off.
Yeah.
You know, and it was hurtful because it, you know, we were children. Like, I couldn't even drive yet. We were children. And the bullying that came from that, because this person not only was acting like 5 or 6 guys, right? They were acting like supporting members. So this was back when, like, we had Bebo, right? So they would come and leave nasty comments on your page, like hurtful things that weren't true. And then they had she was pretending to be other people and would comment on the negative stuff and like further try to embarrass you.
Psychotic.
Yes.
Where is this person now?
Yeah, where is this person now? They in jail.
In a psych ward in jail.
Probably not doing well.
I don't know. I blocked her. I couldn't get past it. Like, I didn't find this out until later. Like, I had graduated high school. I think I was in college, and I have my best friend. We've been friends since 2002. So that's my girl. And she was also a part of this friend group, right? So one day I was like, I wonder what happened with this situation. We looked at those Facebook pages once, like, we kind of cut those people off, no posts since then. And so then you start doing reverse image searches, reverse numbers, all of that stuff, and it is traced back to this person. And so then when you address them with it, and they're very cowardly, not even apologetic, but I'm like, you are weird. You got news from girls that we're friends with, that we play sport. I play basketball. We play basketball together.
So she was catfish now, y'all?
Not all of us.
Oh.
But I think I'm like, are you gay? You know what I mean?
Obsessed.
Like, but it's scary because I was a child, and like I'm spending the night. You know, she's like at my house, she's in my bed, and she was having sexual conversations with some of the girls. You know what I mean? Like, they were sexting or whatever. And the fact that now these girls embarrassed, right? Because they had sexual conversations with they think is a man, and it's with the person next to them. Those intimate
That's
things.
like some swim fan type shit.
Yeah.
That is
Ain't
crazy.
nobody beat her up in there?
Well, she no longer resides in this state.
That person got some healing they need to do, because you're psychotic. And yeah, I agree. Every
That's
relationship
crazy.
is not gonna end.
Yeah.
I didn't have to heal from my separation from my marriage.
Now, because we played a video earlier, not to cut you off, and the guy mentioned a lot of the times people get these traumatic experiences because the shit just didn't work out. It wasn't even about the cheating or nothing. It just didn't work for whatever reason, and people would consume that failure as traumatic. Because I guess, or I would assume, everything else in life I succeeded at or worked out in my favor. This relationship ain't worked, so now it traumatized me because I succeeded everything I do. How dare I have a fair relationship? So, like you said you don't have to a lot of stuff you don't have to heal from. I think people just need to be cognizant that a lot of your relationships ain't gonna succeed, dog.
Most of them ain't.
Most of them ain't gonna. It's gonna be a trial and error. That's why you shouldn't be doing them as casually as we are.
Yeah, most of
I don't believe in dating. Like I said, I don't believe in dating no more. Like I used to be a date. Like I had a channel. I still got it. The Date Master. I used to go on so many dates, and I used to do live experience. I started doing this in 2011 because of my background. And I'm like, I got played a little bit. I'm like, man, she got me. I just spent $150 at Red Lobster. You probably ain't been to Red Lobster, right?
I haven't.
So I'm like, man, she just okay, thank you. Jump out the car quick, go in the house with this motherfucking $80 to go play. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, what the hell? So I meet a chick. I'm like, nah, you ain't finna play me again. So I'm doing real live infield experience. Like I'm finna set up the date and I'm gonna stand her up. And I said, if I stand her up, she gonna fuck with me more. This shit was 100% accurate.
I mean, maybe it was her blessing though. Like, do you don't think God used you to make sure she had $80 of food to go?
Nah.
Okay, you want
because she come from money.
I know, but people
it make me wonder are we dating just to have fun, or are we dating to get something out of the date?
Well, I'm dating to get something out the motherfucker. Okay. Like I ain't just finna spend $150. I'm thinking we rocking, but you.
And when I go on a date, I ain't even thinking like, oh, he spent $150. I need to do something.
We're not saying
I don't know how much you spent.
But I'm saying, what I'm saying is, you put yourself in that position and say, damn, I done took this chick out, I gotta switch out my formula.
So your reasoning for taking chicks out was maybe a little.
Yeah, like I'm like, I want to fuck with you.
You trying to go swimming?
Yeah, definitely trying to go do.
When you say F with them,
hold on.
When you say F with them, what you mean though?
Do y'all think most men when they take y'all on dates, ain't they what they trying to do?
I don't. That's not. And I call me green. I thought when a man wants to take me out on a date, it's an outing to get to know me, to spend time with me.
You don't believe that shit.
I do. And
hold on.
I do too. I mean, because if you want
your camera right there, say it again.
I did not think when you guys are inviting us out on dates, the date is for sex. I thought the date was just to get to know each other.
Let me respond to this. Let me
spend time.
I do agree.
Let me respond to that.
And thank y'all for telling me, because I'm 37 years old.
See, we're gonna get good at the end.
I thought the date was to spend time and just interact and get to know each. I didn't know it was for sex.
You ever went through like a multi-interview process to get a job?
Yeah.
And you got the job. And let's say you went to work for let's say 2 weeks, and you didn't get that check, that direct deposit. Well, damn, I thought you just wanted to come help out the company.
And see,
why you looking for a check?
We brought it back to money.
Don't you sign an agreement to work?
No.
Yeah, you can't compare an interview for a date.
I'm using it to say it's a tangible goal. What am I gonna do with info if I take 6 girls out in a week and I learn that you like seafood, you like steaks, you like fried chicken? What I'm gonna do with that information? How is it gonna better me? And I just spent $600 between the 3 of y'all.
Know some good restaurants.
That was your
know some good restaurants. See who you like.
No. I said your food, not restaurant. What am I gonna do with the information that you like?
Determine who you like to vibe with. This is my mindset on a date. I'm thinking you gathering data from different women to see who you ultimately would like to spend all of your time with.
That's what she's saying.
Spending my time doing what exactly?
Eating.
Evolving into that relationship.
Oh, okay.
Because if I go on 2 dates this week, my point in going on those 2 dates, no, for real. Because I'm currently dating. So that means I might go on a date with you this week. I might go on a date with him next week. My goal here is to see who I would like to date exclude. Like, okay, I like you, but I like him more. So now you phased out. We can continue to go on dates. My end result is not to get you in the bed.
I'm gonna tell you,
you ain't spending the money.
Hold on, let me ask you a question.
I am in some of those cases.
Hold on, wait.
So,
hold up. So because you spending the money, you supposed to go swimming at the end of the
deposit.
Y'all make
I had a real experience
with
this. I had a real experience with this. I was dating this guy, right? We've gone on a couple of dates. Our routine was we would go on a date to get dinner. We would go back to his condo. He would put baseball on. I would fall asleep for a few hours and I would go to my apartment. That was what we did. And I enjoyed hanging out with him, right? So one day he invited me out to dinner with his golfing friends. It was 2 of them, him and I. It was 4 of us. I'm over there eating my oysters, sipping on my little drink, my risotto. Everything was fine. We got back to the apartment. I'm doing my routine. Now, I wrapped up in this little blanket because you know how I am about physical touch. You know what I mean? So I ain't really want to be on him like that. So I wrapped up in my blanket and I'm going to sleep. And he tapped me on the shoulder. He was like, why don't you take your pants off?
Yeah, you're a little more
And
comfortable.
so I was like, why? And he was like, I mean, I took you to one of the nicest restaurants in Birmingham. We was eating oysters, like the aphrodisiacs and blah, 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 blah. And I said, oh, I was going to eat today regardless. So if you wanted a prostitute, can I get the negotiation as a prostitute, right? Because if you wanted to spend that money towards sex, we could have negotiated a price and we didn't have to go to dinner with your friends.
You so
We could have
freaky ass nigga.
talked about a price, $2,500. Maybe we could have had a good time. But a $70 meal, I didn't feel like that was a deposit for my body to
Was
be
this
on
the
top
first
of yours.
date?
No,
This was date number what?
probably 6.
So that's not 70. That's more like 480.
480. It still wasn't enough for me. If I had the prostitute, I'm not prostituting for 480.
Okay, this is gonna be
A
before we get out of here.
deposit
This is gonna be a whole nother
the
podcast we
water
need to do
polo.
because I would ask women this one magical question, $1 million question. Why are you going on a date with a man that you're not sexually attracted to or have no sexual interest in? Because in a lot of cases, how dates go, he come pick you up. So you're in his car, you're at his wheel automatically. You get in his car, he got the 4.5 under the seat. I got the child safety lock. You can't do shit with me right now. You in my car. I got the pistol.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you're going back to the place. Why would a woman put herself in a position in that capacity that you're for a guy you're not sexually interested in? Because this is what I want to neutralize. Men don't do shit for shits and giggles and for just generic, useless information.
Okay, I can answer your question really quickly before the next podcast. So when we first started dating, I'm very upfront. I reserve sex for a monogamous relationship.
Okay, you told him that.
Yes.
Okay, so that's different.
Yes.
Okay,
So when
okay.
he did all of that, and now we're moving the post. Now you aren't interested in monogamy. You're interested in prostitution. So
Okay.
let's talk about that because oysters, risotto, and a martini wasn't gonna never be on the bill for me to be getting no prostitution done.
Okay. How many women have you spoken with? Because like I said, we see too many videos and it's too much content for them to use the format she just displayed. She just described. It's too many. I got endless content. It's too much trauma to where if that was the foundation, 80% of the shit women say they go through on the internet wouldn't even be on the internet.
I think the main issue that you're describing is having a mutual understanding for why we're doing what we're doing
From the onset.
from the go. Because I
Yeah,
promise you, I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
I would go on a date with someone who I'm not sexually attracted to because I want to get to know you. The first time I meet you, Chris, when I just met you, I didn't think about sex. If you asked me on a date, I would accept the date to get to know you, not because, ooh, Chris is someone I would have sex with. I would accept the date with the idea that this is a single man.
I got a question.
Hold on,
we
Sarah.
could
I'm
potentially-
gonna let you go.
This may potentially could, because I date with intent.
Let me ask you a
I
question.
date to get to know people that I could potentially be in a relationship.
You agree with that?
And I don't have sex outside of
How many
relationships.
niggas in y'all inbox on unread that y'all ain't even open up yet?
So many. I don't do social media.
Well, what you
That
saying is contradictory to that.
How? How?
Because
Social media in person too.
No,
I was
cause
gonna say the
I'm
men who
saying that
I
because-
date, they meet me and they see me.
I seen women say so many times, I know I'm gonna get him some pussy within the first 8 minutes.
And that's a different
That's them,
demographic
though.
of women.
But
That's them.
you got some niggas in your inbox that you answered immediately.
I don't do social media.
No. I ain't saying
I
now.
don't meet people online.
You never met a guy online you hooked up
I
with.
don't meet people online.
No,
My
not now.
no.
You
If
never did it. You have
the
no
people who I
experience.
have had sex with, I
Yeah.
met them in person. They walked up onto me. Hey, I'm such
Okay,
and such.
I'm
You
not
say-
gonna get in your business.
Mike.
I'm asking you a specific question. You telling me?
I have never met someone online and we had sex.
Have you ever met a nigga online y'all off the internet?
Not a head.
But see, that's the thing. We have these conversations based on.
Because I would have to say
Generalized
bullshit
belief,
because
though.
they saying 60% of
Generalized-
relationships and marriage is met off the internet.
Listen,
Somebody lying.
they also say a man know he want to marry a woman within the first 3 weeks
6
that he
months, yeah.
know her.
On that first day, someone said they knew when they met
That's
them.
not
So
the
you
case
saying
for
women
all
don't look at a
men.
nigga and say within the first couple minutes he can get some pussy?
No,
think
I
it's the-
don't.
I don't think that person has good critical thinking skills because do you even know this person for them to be
Yeah.
grunting and thrusting on
Bingo.
top of you in 8
'cause
minutes?
That's the thing. you're
Ew.
talking about different kinds of women.
Bingo.
I can't have sex with someone who I don't have a strong emotional.
Well, I'm just speaking in general, not you
connection
specifically.
with.
I'm just saying.
But that can't be a general conversation
Sure.
because
'Cause
I got friends
Because
who
you got 3
can
different
look
women
at a
still.
man and say, "Oh yeah, I'm finna get him. We going down."
Now I do know a girl like
Yes,
that.
I know a girl
I
like
would have
that.
to ask why Chris Brown meet and greet sell out within 14 seconds.
They're not
Why he
fucking.
got a
They
song
not
called?
sleeping with him though.
That's
I gotta also
celebrity.
ask why he got a song called "These Hoes Ain't Loyal" and it's one of his top hits.
It's
Somebody
catchy.
lying somewhere.
I think two truths can be.
But Pete, this though he did say hoes. He didn't say
consistent.
women.
And then I got to look at the stat that say 60 to 70% of new relationships is met online. Somebody lying.
You asked about if they had sex
with that
them.
person,
I'm
not
getting
met
that
that person
perspective,
though.
but to say like
that. Listen though, do you know how many people are on social media?
Yeah, a lot.
Do you know how many are not on social media?
I
The
agree.
same amount, a lot.
But what I'm saying is that if you meet a guy, you know if he the nigga or not. We gotta pop the balloon to where niggas don't even get a chance to open their mouth. She come out, pop, 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 out the gate.
Because based on
off looks,
That
I
based
wouldn't
off
go
them,
on a
though.
date with you because I'm not attracted to you.
Okay, but
that's them.
But that ain't got nothing to do. That's not based on me wanting or not wanting to have sex with you.
again, I'm gonna push back because what you're saying is ultimately what y'all will be saying is you vet every nigga to a T before you get intimate. And if that was the case, throughout this podcast, y'all wouldn't have gave no examples of no trauma. If y'all vet every man to a T, like you stated, without just using the physical as the barometer of what I'm gonna do, I wouldn't be able to pull up millions and millions and millions of testimonies of all this with trauma attached to it
My
because you properly vetted
was
it.
not a guy that you would call attractive. When he approached me for a date, Chris, it was not because I said, "Ooh, this man is handsome." You know what made me go with it and let him approach me?
Yeah.
His energy. He was a gentleman. He said something nice. His energy was charming.
That's
he
attraction.
introduced him, but it wasn't physical.
You
You said we know looking at a man because we vetting him physically, we know we want to have sex. When I first met my ex-husband, my first initial meeting with him was not on physical attraction because I was not physically attracted to him at all. He wasn't tall. I like my men tall. He just physically didn't look like what I had become accustomed to liking off the natural eye.
Okay,
But
so y'all
he
been in person.
approached me at the gas station. The way he approached me as a gentleman, I was like, "Oh, this was cool." And I went on a date with the man. On the first date, Chris, I still didn't think, "Ooh, I'm gonna give him some." I want to lay down with him.
I'm finna lay it low and spread it
That's kind
wide.
of weird that we really think y'all expect us to know that because you took me on 4 dates, I'm supposed to bust it open tonight.
I ain't
That's
saying
crazy.
exposed to. I'm saying niggas don't do shit for shits and giggles.
I'm
That's
not
my
a
point.
nigga though.
I'm not
So
speaking for
tell me, out the gate on the first date, it's your responsibility to let her know, "Hey, if I take you on another date, I expect some."
I think this is the problem. I think this goes back to parenting. And the reason they go back to parenting, there ain't no way I'm finna tell my motherfucking daughter, a nigga just taking you on a date to get to know you.
No way I'm telling my daughter that. Ain't no way.
Because that's just stupid. Like, that's the dumb.
So are you telling your son in the same breath, don't take out no female unless you want some coochie?
No, I wouldn't tell him that, but I know why he's taking a, because I already know why he's taking a girl on the
How?
date. What's understood ain't got to be said.
I know why I'm going to work.
So
I want to
y'all,
say
what y'all are telling me right now
Work and dating is two different things.
every man
but you
who
understand-
takes a woman
understand
out
why
on
they
a
there.
date is taking her out because he wants to have sex.
yes, for the most part.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with y'all, and this is some real shit. Most niggas don't even know we like y'all until the sex.
I don't, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. If he wants to have sex with me or not, I don't care. Right? Like, if that's his sole purpose, I think, because I feel like right now the conversation is men are upset that they're getting something they didn't ask for, essentially. But if I'm going on a first date and my intentions is that we're getting to know each other and you're trying to see if you want to have sex with me or not, I'm okay with that being your first thought. If that's just what it naturally is, right?
Okay.
It doesn't change why I'm here. And it doesn't change how I'm going to move through life, right? Because I don't always cater my life because of what somebody else is doing. If I like this man and I can think someone is attractive or handsome, but that doesn't mean I want to have sex with them. I think that you're handsome. It doesn't mean that I want to have sex with you. Right.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of people out there like that. So even with Pop the Balloon, I think a lot of those people on there that pop and they be like, I'm not sexually attracted to them. Yeah. They are not looking for true intentions. They're not looking for love. They're looking to smash. I don't think they got good.
Now we're speaking specific, but again, I'm just using a general consensus. Like I like to say, we're a little bit more, I say mature at this age. I'm saying like younger and let's say into the greener years. 20 to 30, early 30s.
Because I think, and I'm gonna say this, the reason people base it off of sex is because we all can agree and we all know now sex is such a big part of a relationship.
Very big.
Even if you're not having sex a lot, even if you have sex once a month, let's say you have sex once a month, 12 times a year, we still want that interaction to be a good time with this person that we vibe and connect with. If the sex is off, a lot of us ain't gonna make it to the relationship. So that's why I say when dudes have these understanding that I'm taking you on a date because I want to have sex, we understand that, hey, that pussy fine, hey, I might wife you up. I might explore something further with you. If it's trash, I'm going. If my sex trash with you gone for the most part. I don't know too many women that just be out here that just marry niggas that got just trash sex. And the only time that I do hear that is when the money's involved. I don't just hear a lot of women dating broke dudes with bad. He broke and his sex ain't good. So what's the reason you there, baby?
I seen women say they gonna leave if the dick ain't hitting. $1 million house. If he ain't touching that button, so they out of there.
That's
what I'm saying. Like
it's a major component, and they like to just diminish it. Oh, I'm trying to get to know you. I ain't gonna know shit until you drop them draws.
Here's some of them comments said. I think Jay said, why we bring up Chris Brown? Why use Chris Brown as an extreme? Because when you look at Chris, I seen them tickets gonna say, I seen number women. I got my ticket. We had even some guests on here. I spent this on the meet and greet. $2,800, 2 bands. Let me guess. A woman spending $2,000 to meet Chris Brown just for the picture. Just for the picture? Not a chance at the title.
I'm a Chris Brown fan. Like, I like Chris Brown. If I went, it would literally just be for the experience, not because I think I'm finna buy some D from Chris Brown.
You spending $2,800?
$2,800.
Meet and greet plus a ticket. You talking $1,800 to $2,800? Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying, would you
if I had the money,
you would spend it.
I would go for the experience of an actual close reaction with somebody who I'm a fan of. Yes.
And if he shot his shot, you blocking Chris Brown.
No.
My motherfucking point.
Chris Brown, because it's Chris Brown.
That's
the point.
No.
That's the whole point. It's Chris Brown.
Look, and let's be real. Hold on.
Y'all not saying Chris Brown.
I'm not blocking Chris Brown just because it's Chris Brown.
That's the point.
It ain't got nothing to do with sex, though. It's Chris Brown.
That is the point I'm making.
You're not making your point.
Chicks ain't spending $2,800 just to say I took a picture with Chris Brown. If he shoot his shot, it's gonna be nothing but net.
But you do realize people are buying these meet and greets and are not expecting Chris Brown to shoot his shot.
What percentage?
Come on now.
What percentage?
Everybody who buy that ticket, they ain't thinking Chris Brown finna shoot his shot.
Everybody know Chris Brown got a type anyway.
He sure do.
And it be so many brown girls at that meet and greet. And Chris Brown
change just like that.
Hold on.
Change.
Oh, you ain't heard the stories about him kicking the dark girls out the same shit.
Hold on. So let's do this real quick. That's men. I don't know about women, but I'm gonna speak on men. Men types is like the motherfucking weather.
Change instantly.
Not here.
No.
Listen.
No. This is my point. We are buying the meet and greet. I'm telling you about me. Bingo. I'm buying my Chris Brown ticket and meet and greet. Actually, with the mindset, Chris Brown would never shoot his shot at me based on what he liked. So me buying my Chris Brown ticket and meet and greet has nothing to do with the mythical thought that, what if he is literally because it's Chris Brown. People who Beyonce fans, these women are not they don't want Beyonce. They don't want to eat Beyonce out. They want to go because it's so trying to make a celebrity.
Hold on.
There's been other celebrities that called Chris Brown out about him not liking dark-skinned women, especially a lot of the photos that we saw.
Okay, so let's on some man shit. I'm gonna say this again. attraction changes like the weather with men. Okay.
Chris Brown.
Hold on, listen,
ain't
you
gonna
cut me
holler
off.
at me.
Hold on, you cut me off. You cut me off. Attraction for men is like the weather. Chris Brown can have a type. I have a type as well, but it might be. I like women with big ass. It might be somebody this slim bitch right now that's kind of turning me on right now. I might knock her off. Chris Brown might predominantly like light skinned chicks. It could be a girl that's real fine, dark skin. He's like, oh, I'm finna knock this one off. And you got to think about it. It's Chris Brown, so he's built himself up to where he can say now. My type is my type, sure enough. But at the end of the day, it could be a fine, dark-skinned girl that come in there. Oh, I'm gonna go knock her off because she fine.
They was asking for her for them to come to the front, right? Was Hoki Otani was going up against him, calling him a powdered, you know what I mean? All of that stuff.
But
they was calling for the girls. If you say you're not a colorist or whatever, I hate to say this, you know what I mean? But if you say you're not a colorist, you're not kicking the dark-skinned girls out the section. You're not saying no to them even being able to get into the club and all this other kind of stuff. If you've had interactions with him, we need you to the front. And we have seen nobody.
But that's like saying, because you know everybody ain't gonna come out because people don't want their shit.
So you saying that it's girls that'll be smashing Chris Brown right now and they don't want other people to know?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna tell you
not if they're on our level. If they're buying a VIP ticket,
you want to know? You want to know?
Hold
on. You want to know how I do? You want to know how I do? Taste and women change. Go look at this prom picture and look at the chick he with now. Go look at this prom picture. Who he took to the prom and who he with now, who he been dating now. That shows you a man. It changes.
But
so
we're talking about a specific time right now, right? Since he's been doing meet and greets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
like
since he's been doing meet and greets, his time has been the same.
Stuff. What if they signed the NDA?
That's why they ain't gonna say
can't
nothing.
Put it out.
That's why they ain't gonna say it.
I mean, I don't know.
If they didn't sign one, they gonna tell it.
But
you got some of the top ballers hitting rats. You got some top baller rappers, athletes hitting rats, and nobody will ever know.
I don't think that they always have a type as specific as his, though. He has a specific type that is branded.
He's a man still. He got a type. Everybody got a type, but it's some occasions I would disregard my type for this one.
I think because I do feel like because of his celebrity, there aren't going to be many times where his type isn't available. I don't think it's many times where he'd be like, dang, I'm around a whole bunch of dark-skinned women. I'm finna have to pick one because it ain't nothing in here like.
Chris Brown can hit 3 light-skinned chicks and this dark-skinned stallion come in here and say, you know what? I want that one too. My set was a little tough tonight. We dealt with some technical difficulties. My team ain't cleared the sample that I'm about to get $180,000 for. I'm a little stressed. This dark-skinned chick right here.
Take it from
I'm finna smash.
We ain't buying them Chris Brown meet and greets and tickets because we want to smash Chris.
Now I'm gonna say this: I don't particularly think that most women are buying those tickets because they think Chris Brown is gonna smash them. I think they just want to be around. They want to get their ass grabbed. They just want to smell his aroma because it's the only opportunity to probably just be around somebody you famous. You get that, but. Like I said, Chris Brown said, "Hey, meet me in the back room. Come something.
Your ass going.
They going." I agree. I don't think the initial thing is because you think you're gonna get smashed by Chris Brown.
That's the issue. You don't go if he say go.
Yeah,
and this is just me.
But you said it's Chris Brown, so you going?
I'm going to the meeting.
Oh, but so he tried to say, "Hey, I'm gonna smash you."
No, but again, to be fair, I literally said I have to have an emotional connection with who I have sex with. I don't have no emotional connection. I don't know Chris Brown.
I mean, I don't know if it's even that, but like I'm not that big of a Chris Brown fan, so maybe my opinion is biased. But if I had to choose a celebrity to sleep with, he wouldn't be
mine because physically, I don't have a fit. And I hate to say stuff like this, but everybody has a type. My type is chocolate. The darker the berry, the sweeter the
I don't like nobody look like they do drugs.
I like tall, dark men. Chris Brown just physically don't do it for me. I'm a Chris Brown fan.
This why I call bullshit, man.
But the entertainer in Chris Brown is what I'm a fan of. I like how he dance. I love every single song. But when it comes down to me sucking dick in the back because it's Chris Brown.
Hold on. We got kids. Hey, can't go down there.
No. And it baffles me for y'all to think that's so hard to believe that if Chris Brown offered me a smash session in the back that I would turn.
I think that thought comes from like the generalization that all women these days are the same, and that our thought processes are the same, and it's not. But
the amount of women I heard that tell me they like tall niggas. Oh, no,
I blame the city girl for messing it up, but it is what it is.
Oh, he ain't city girl. The amount of chicks.
No, because what you saying is we gon' go just because he got money and he got money.
The women that say they like tall niggas, this and that, my resume say it's different.
I'm just telling you why I wouldn't personally smash.
I'm taller than every woman I lay down with.
I like mine tall.
I'm just saying.
So I'm lay down.
You said I smash Chris because
I'm not. I'm exaggerating.
I like him because of the entertainment. But, like he's not a celebrity. When you talk about celebrities that I'm attracted to, like Chris Brown ain't on that list.
I'm a
fan of Chris Brown. I love his music.
Just because she a fan don't mean she'll go.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna just say
that's the moral.
If y'all got a broke nigga in y'all background, I just
can talk about it. I can talk about it.
How you gonna say you done laid down with broke nigga, but Chris Brown shoot his shot? You talking about no?
You just a
you fucking lying. You just that's crazy to me.
Chris Brown just doesn't do it for me. So him being a celebrity and being rich automatically makes me go.
Yeah, for the most part.
Why?
See, if it was like Gunna post jail, maybe even Moneybagg Yo, since he been on the almond milk, maybe I'd be down at the meet.
You mean hold on? You mean after his Drizzy BBL? Because that man,
yeah, the Drizzy BBL.
Moneybagg.
Yeah,
we'll get into that later. I'm just saying, he say he has some cosmetics, but I'm saying
this is for entertainment purposes.
You may be that one off.
I hold that BBL down.
You may be that one off, but I'll be hard pressed to where women say I fuck with this nigga that ain't got shit, broke. He came with this energy, ain't ugly, like you said you do at the gas station. And then Chris Brown coming here with life change. That nigga change your life like that and your family's life like that. And you gonna sit and tell me he ain't attracted to him? I call bullshit.
But the thing about it is, it ain't about what I think I can speak for Ashley because we've been knowing each other long enough. What she's saying is not about the money, so to speak, because Chris Brown got a history of being an abuser. So you mean to tell me I'm gonna leave this broke man that treat me good for a man that gonna be my eye gonna be black every day?
Her husband that she wasn't physically attracted to approached at a gas station, and because of his energy made her want to fuck with him.
That made me accept
$100 million R&B superstar.
But listen to what I'm saying though. You didn't listen to nothing I just said. What I said was she would probably rather be with that than be with somebody that gonna black her eye every Saturday.
That's bullshit.
No, it's not. You can't base that off
one woman,
but you can't base that off. No, I mean Karruecha too. Now wait a minute.
Karruecha ain't came forward with no motherfucking allegations on him. Pull him up.
Chris just don't do it for me.
I'm saying what
on
you
the dating tip.
I'm saying, and I think we all agree that they got to find it. He just won.
Exactly. So he ain't trying to make this man he an abuser and he's not consecutive. No. What I'm saying is,
I agree with it.
If you say on me, your husband approached you at a gas station and he didn't look to par, all he had was energy. Versus another nigga that don't look to par can change you and your family's life like that.
You still
you telling me you picking a nigga at the gas station? That don't make sense.
What I'm telling you is, I'm not dating. I'm not
going long, so we gonna let's
wrap up. Go
ahead, read what you got to say real quick.
A restraining order filed in 2017 by ex-girlfriend Karruecha Tran alleged that Chris Brown repeatedly harassed her, punched her, threatened to kill her and her friends, and pushed her down the stairs during their relationship.
Okay.
Look, and it might be because I do earn over 6 figures, so a nigga with money don't make me.
It don't ooh me either.
I'm sorry, that's just not
because the
my
thing. I can afford all that for myself.
I promise you, there are celebrities that could approach me. And I'm like, yo, we gonna go out.
Or was it proven?
Was it allegedly
in jail right now for false allegations?
No, this was a restraining order.
Oh, that don't hold weight for real. It don't. A woman that I never met can go and put a restraining order on me right now.
You said they didn't have.
But you saying she never accused him of anything.
No, I said evidence. Meaning you came to the internet with bruises, some type of.
We seen
Rihanna. We seen that.
But that wasn't by her choice either, though.
We're not saying by choice. I'm saying you seen the evidence. A woman that I never met can go and file a restraining order on me, and I ain't never met her.
Just think about the football player. Just think about the football player that got arrested and he had to pull up the video footage of his girlfriend being the abuser.
Deion Sanders had to do that with his wife.
Okay, have y'all ever been in a domestic, like when the police was called, how it goes down?
I haven't. Not.
Yeah.
And what was your experience like?
When they came,
they tackled your ass.
Nah, when they came, we were trying to figure out. The dude was like, "Don't come back here no more." Her boyfriend was bloody. My neighbor was in the apartment. Why I beat her up, all that. The dude was like real cool. He rolled it up. So he was like, just don't come back.
Okay.
Nobody went to jail.
Nobody went to jail.
Okay.
Right. Sometimes in instances where people do go to jail, sometimes they both do tell the story, right? This happened. The police officer is like, okay, I'm gonna pick and choose who gonna go to jail, who not.
Yeah.
Automatically you're gonna go to jail if you say if you don't want to comply with a story. More than likely you're gonna go to jail because they got this person saying, oh, this person punched me, this person did X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. And here we are, we asking you for some defense. You could say, hey, I don't want to talk without an attorney, even if you say that.
Well, that's kind of how mine went. She said everything I said was true.
Right. So in some instances, you can go to jail based off of that. I know for a fact. So there are different things that could cause somebody to go to jail. And it don't always means that, or if they don't go to jail, it doesn't always mean that somebody was wrong in that instance. Like what happened with that athlete. I don't know how they assess that because then she cut his dreads out and all the other kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the scenario is just up in air, and it is to the determination of the police based on what it said, evidence that is found. He could have had his dreads cut up. I don't know what she looked like. If she had a scratch or something like that, it could have been, he assessed that her damages were worse than his at that time. So that could have possibly been it.
I agree. I've seen some women go to jail. For the most part, if we pull up the stats, most men will go to jail.
Yes, I don't disagree.
Did y'all know now in Alabama specifically, both parties in domestic violence go to jail now in Alabama, so it ain't no he going.
Because I seen an uptick. Because they're both going. I actually subscribe to about 3 different channels, and it's just straight body cam, domestic disputes, stealing, robbery. It's just endless footage of interactions with civilians, whether it's domestic or whatever. So I am seeing an uptick in women going to jail, but for a long period of time, the man will go to jail instantly without none of that. You going to jail. But I use that to say with the Chris Brown argument, it's certain guys that may not be your type. Just going back to the men with having the type of women, certain men will make concessions depending on the circumstance. It's not a law to say I only have sex with light skin 140. That's not law.
And y'all have made it law that all women are gonna go for the man with money. Or
we haven't made that law. Y'all made it law.
Hold on,
who is y'all?
Let me ask y'all. I'm just gonna ask y'all.
Who is y'all?
Women.
Hold on. Let me ask y'all a question. I'm a simple question. What percentage of the women going to a meet and greet for Chris Brown is gonna go? I'm just gonna.
I don't know.
Just if you had to guess,
let y'all tell it all of them. I can't give you a percentage because according to y'all, according to you two, what I have learned is that if a man take me out on a date, he expect coochie.
Yeah.
So I'm just learning that.
And just because a man got money, I'm gonna leave the man that probably treat me right for the man that got money.
But we see that.
But the thing, but this is the thing.
Sounds like that has been you all's experience with women.
No. All our information. How we do this show?
Look up. Call it on Steve Smith.
How we do this show? I do a lot of in-depth research. I do a lot of back-end research. I use Kendra G, Arlette, Ashley Dalton, Kevin Samuels to go rest in peace. 80 to 90% of the women that they interview across the board, and let's say that'll be in the tens of thousands. The first, if not number one thing the woman mentioned is money. That's Kevin Samuels, Kendra G, Arlette, Ashley Dalton, and so many other podcasts and platforms. The number one thing women disqualify men off is money.
So I'm gonna just say fair. You said 6 podcast people
that have millions.
And hold on, but Kevin Samuels dead. How long?
She said they gonna research a group that is gonna support their narrative. It's you haven't done enough research to say that all men who take women on a date expect coochie. One of your viewers just said One of your viewers just said he does not expect.
Well, I don't do
sex
all. I do
on a day.
generalizations, which is
But
51%.
That's healing. We have to take generalization out of
No,
healing.
we don't.
It
Yes,
is
we do.
specific.
No.
Because
Yes,
everybody ain't
it
the same. You
is.
can't put them in the same
51% is the majority. That's
Healing
general.
is not a general. You cannot generalize healing. That's why when you said give me a 1, 2, 3 plan for healing, I cannot, because it's how she's gonna heal, how even y'all two are gonna heal from the same thing, completely different. So healing, that's the problem with healing. We try to generalize.
We'll get into this after. We're gonna wrap up. Let's because we've been going a good minute. Hey, we shout out to everybody who's tuned in. Make sure you subscribe. Go like the page,
You
follow
said
the
he
channel.
was gonna spend that for Janet.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
Look, not Miss
Janet-
Jackson if you're nasty.
And not Janet now though. But
Miss
early
Jackson if
2000s
you're nasty.
Janet.
Yeah,
Janet
facts.
could get it.
Now,
And you were gonna buy that meet and greet knowing
Yeah,
Janet went
yeah,
gonna
search
smash you.
I was gonna get arrested though. They was gonna
I
arrest
think this was
Oh
a
my
great. I think this was a great topic, a great engagement. Closing remarks from Ms. Harmon. Thank you for joining us and giving your perspective. What's your takeaways from tonight's show?
My takeaways is further proves that a lot of the healing we have to do has a lot to do with our view on things, our background, the experiences that we have had. And I can't expect you to heal how I heal. I can't even expect you to want to heal from certain things that I feel are important, and vice versa. Like, it's a very big topic, but you guys have given me insight on how a lot of times it's just that person's mindset, and it's really no fight there. It's because based on your experience, if you've never read Mastery of Self, such a good book, because it really proves the point that we are all living a separate dream, and your reaction to the world is based on the dream that you have. My reaction to what's going on in the world is based on the dream that I'm having, because we have two completely different realities. We're all going to be healing from things that are the same, but we're going to do it so differently because your reality and my reality are completely different.
Okay. Ms. Spears, what's your takeaways for tonight?
Basically that you have to be open to healing. You got to be willing to go through the process, and you got to have an open mind, because it's not going to be the same. Most of the time when you heal, your life probably going to be falling apart. You got to be open to go through the journey and go through the process and get through it, and don't expect it overnight.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Ashanti. So I have a couple of things. Okay, first of all, make sure y'all come out tomorrow at 6:30 to Success in the City.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna have a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners, and everybody celebrating the greatness in the Birmingham area and all over the state of Alabama. All right, so we're gonna get into these closing remarks. Number one, please stop doing these public interviews and these street interviews if you're gonna have stuff like what that young lady said.
Right.
She have not talked to a therapist yet, but she got here telling all her business to us on the internet about different baby mamas. Sound like Tyreek Hill. If I would close my eyes, I would thought that was Tyreek Hill wife. But anyways, please stop doing that, young ladies. And I always end with this quote: when you raise the barrier of entry, you force the standard to rise. Okay, rise it above predators. Rise it above, I ain't trying to be funny, but somebody working at Dollar Tree that need to move in with you, you need to rise it above that. Okay, that's what I got to close out with.
Hey, I enjoyed this. It was very entertaining and educational. I learned some things tonight. But like I said, always make sure you're your best self at all times. Because I what I notice is a lot of people are looking for healing through other people. Nah, you need to focus on yourself, get yourself together, stop looking for, things in other people if you don't have them in yourself already. That's it.
Well, my closing remarks for today is it was a great show. I enjoyed everybody here. I'm going to say, for the New Normal Podcast and our platform, we do not condone any rape. We don't condone it, so I got to put that out there.
Or domestic violence.
Or Chris don't condone domestic violence. But
Oh, so you do see it.
it not look. I'm gonna say this.
Silence is complicit.
I don't agree with anybody putting their hands on anybody. I agree. So I'm gonna say that I don't. If domestic violence, if one party assaulting the other party, I don't agree with that. But I do agree with mutual combat. So I'm gonna put that out there. If domestic violence is one person assaulting the other, I do not agree. But if y'all in a relationship and y'all moving furniture in that bitch and both catching black eyes and whoop the whoop, I agree with that. That's how y'all relationship gonna go.
Not
cool.
the furniture rearrangement.
Yeah, so I agree in mutual combat, right? So I'm that's for me. I'm not speaking for Chris. I'm not speaking for anybody on this panel. That's for Cedric. Cedric agrees and believes in that. So I make that
He didn't
statement.
say self-defense. He said mutual combat.
Yeah, mutual combat. And like I said, I just want to make it clear. Well, from the statements earlier, nobody condones rape. We all understand that certain things should be able to do, certain things people should be able to go. But the reality of life, it just ain't like that. That's why I'm just making sure that everybody will be on their P's and Q's when you walk outside, walk out the door. You got to keep your head on the swivel. Make sure you check your surroundings, checking what you're doing, checking what you're wearing, checking the colors that you wear. All these things matter in life because, we always talk about nature and people like to refer to nature. Certain things know that if I'm looking like this and this kind of color, I know that's going to draw more attention to me. So a lion might come and rip me a new asshole if I'm a zebra. So I understand that shit. So same thing with society. We got to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to protect ourselves. Also, I'm going to say again, we all agree that things should be a certain way. You should be able to wear what you want, drive what you want, go where you want, shop where you want, wear dirty diamond chains in the hood. We agree. That ain't reality. It's a New Number Podcast, and we're gone.
Yes, sir.